Yes! All right, boys.
Let's get going.
All right.
Sorry.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Ahoy.
Sorry, I just had to go to the bathroom real quick. And, yeah, I feel great. Anyway.
So, I was supposed to play a video before our intro, but I couldn't figure I don't know what that was going on. So, let me try to do that right now. So I'm like,
Sounds kind of rom.
Let's have a moment of silence for Brian McCoppin, who is currently in the shower. Anyway, we're good.
Yeah. All right.
It's his favorite shower stream.
Yeah. Let's play this. Just imagine we're still in the intro, people.
Echo.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. I can't share it unless I get the echo.
Let me share it.
How do you do? Like, what are you doing when you do that? What
It's
are you
when I share
up?
the entire screen, but I can't.
Why do you
when I try
always
to
fuck it up?
I didn't fuck up anything. When I tried to share the whole window, you saw it, like, it went up with that weird thing. Or my other tab. The wrong tab. So.
Yeah, just share a tab. Don't share the whole window.
No, you're not getting what I'm saying, dude.
You don't get it.
It wasn't an option!
I don't understand why it's not an option. It should be an option.
I don't either.
I can do it. Fuck, look at... What do you want to
do it.
What do you want to share?
Yeah, wait, we're waiting for AC to pull it up. But, ladies and gentlemen, seamen of the Iron Seas, we are going to be talking about Scott Pilgrim, which won the poll this week.
Versus the world.
And we're going to try something a little bit different. If somebody wants to, if they protest what the hosts of the Iron Seas say enough, and they want to get their word in, we will put the StreamYard link into the chat, and you can come in and try to yell at us. If you want, if you're come from me, just good luck. Just that's what's gonna happen, man.
Bad faith already. Jeez.
No one wants to. No one wants to beat up the retarded kid.
Oh.
I like how you said
that,
yeah, and then it's like, oh wait.
Besides that, we have a few topics. Let's see, what were our topics for that? Dealing with a NEGA. Coming.
My nega.
Comic to movie. I am assuming we're talking about the translation between that. Talking about, I don't know why you say iconic characters. We're talking about a fixed, or not fixed growth. A character that goes through a journey. Yeah, flat arc versus, what do we call it? A curved
An
arc?
upward arc.
Upward arc.
Ooh, yeah.
Party composition of set.
Baby. CHILLKID. Chill
All
Kid.
right, I think that was about it. And we are joined by our special guest who just made it in, and that song was
So
dedicated
special.
to him. CHILLKID, or not so CHILLKID. Oh, jeez.
Perfect.
Oh,
got a
you
rave going on
actually
back
have
there.
Kahuna beat. Look at that.
Senor Chill Kid.
How's it going,
Wait.
guys?
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Senor, welcome.
So I got a new internet connection. Do I sound okay?
You sound
Yeah,
good,
dude.
yeah. Audience, please let us know who's quiet or whatnot, because we can't tell on our end. It's really difficult. Evely just got a new special game mic, so we'll see how that goes.
It's totally cool and normal.
Does
That
it
just makes you a beta cuck.
does
But
it
if
fit in your
sounds
mouth?
terrible, let me know so I can send it back.
Yo, not so chill kid. How, dude? I love every time I see your sign. I just get like half mast. I'll be honest. I love that sign, man. It's so cool.
He's over here
Yeah,
hard as a baseball bat.
It's like a light.
Turn around
Anyway,
and knocking stuff over.
dude, I almost ruined my light. Oh, that was fun though.
That was
That was
awesome,
awesome.
dude. I was loving that. You're killing me. Yeah, that's great.
I didn't know when it would switch, so I didn't know how. Like, I was like, I think I just have to keep going, whether it's on or off, right?
Honestly, surprised
There
the
was a
shirt
couple-
stayed on.
You know,
And he has the neon paint.
It cuts away and comes
already
back.
That'd
there.
be funny
That's
for
all.
one-
At any
For
time.
one of those little frames, you know, the shirt's off, but then the very next one back on and completely like.
Yeah.
That's
back on. I'm just sitting there like,
What just happened? I don't know.
Quite, does Justin even know
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
thrown on there at all?
At one point, yeah, but I'm still like putting things together last minute. So I'm looking
He-
at the chat. Talking
I
about
love when you switched to like you went from me, then you switched to Justin. He's just like,
And it was right when it was like chill kid. It was chill kid.
Yo, chill kid. How has the
I'm
week been
fine
going?
with that.
How's the week been going? You got new projects? You got anything you want to talk about?
Well,
I think it's the first time on our show.
Well, lately it's been just finishing up the singles we've been working on. In October for my birthday, I've got The Anvil coming out, which everybody's been looking forward to, which is
All right. Yeah.
great.
ooh,
But if you guys haven't yet, you should check out Anti-Hero, the dual release single. Best song in the album is the second track.
Oh, stop it! It's the second best
great.
song. That's why it's number
Stop
2
it.
and not number 1.
The
Stop.
numbers are showing. Okay. See, I'm just the opening act for Justin's song. It's amazing. The guy's powerhouse.
I've worked with both of you before. I always get to hear a little bit of your stuff as you're working on it. And you guys are always like, "It's so bad. I don't know if I'll even release it." I'm like, "Shut up! This is halfway done. It's better than anything I could ever produce. I don't want to hear it, man."
Well, we run that stuff by you because you have a good ear, man. You got good instincts, so we
Yeah.
appreciate it. Same thing with you, AC. But I have to say, I love the short bus behind you. I don't know your real name. I don't think we've officially met yet. So
No, you can just call me
It's
Bats.
Josephine
that's okay.
Yeah.
Josephine.
Josephine Bellbottom.
Just call me Marie Antoinette. It's fine.
Yes.
All right.
Well, what did I
Thank
say
you.
the other day was Brodicius? That's my
I go by
moniker for
many
him.
names though. Student of God, one of them.
Most of them are
Retard
gay,
Wrangler,
frankly.
The Anointed Ripped Hardest. I am a many named man. The Short Bus Veteran also.
I love it. It's great.
But are your glasses as cool as mine? That's the real question.
Mine are
Kahuna?
close, but none are gonna be as cool as yours.
Oh, I don't know, dude.
Those
I think
pit
you might have me
vipers?
beat.
I feel a
Kahuna
little
out.
bit like a little savage.
There we go.
I guess.
Not bad.
Kahuna, what have you been up to all this week, huh?
Oh, working my butt off, dude. Today we had to set. So the plans are different from what was ordered for the job, and then the plans were wrong. And so trying to juggle all that while holding a post on my shoulder, it's just not a great time, man. Just it's a hard, physically hard, mentally struggle session kind of day. But dude, I'm so hyped to be here. Like I was on my way here, I was like all tired. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm gonna hang out with the boys. We're going on the ice.
Seas.
We're gonna do something they've never seen on the internet before. Shirtless Kahuna. Actually, no.
That's commonplace, frankly.
All right. There's been a request. Sorry, Justin. Yep. All right. All right, Justin. Tell us about your week. How you been doing, huh?
How you been?
How you
okay.
been, man?
I play hockey, and that started up on Sunday, and that it's hard to do whenever you haven't skated in like a month. So I'm still reeling from that a little bit, but it's a good time. And
I'm a
other than that, got. Go ahead.
Oh, I said I imagine you guys are wearing uniforms like they do in Blades of Glory. I imagine that's what you're skating in, obviously.
That's exactly it. It's not in hockey. I just say that to sound cool. It's really just it's what's it? Synchronized figure skating with the bros. That's what we do.
It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go play hockey, guys. Be right back.
Yeah.
I'd guess skate. On
yes.
the ice.
A release that's all, or not all the songs, a lot of songs that I've done for people over the years on various projects, dating back like a full decade. I did a podcast intro or two way back when. The only songs that are not going to be on there, sadly, are the two that I did for Brian P. McCoppin's Record of the Paladins, because as full cover songs, Apple Music, Spotify is very weird with it whenever it's a cover. And I don't know that I can finagle those on there. But it's going to be like 15 tracks. It should be pretty cool. And because I don't know, I'm bad for myself. I made the decision that I'm going to add a Eva Yuri on Ice.
Okay.
No.
Wait.
That's kind of gay.
Why is it on? Why did what? Now I'm gonna say. Okay, guys. Real quick, hot take. The show is what it is. It's like non-committal gay ice skating. But the music was pretty dang good. At least 2 or 3 tracks were anyway.
Oh, no. Lord. But I want to add another song to it that it will probably be on like my next major release as a second little single teaser. And it's a cool song. It's got some ass to it. It's sort of like a mix between like old school In Flames, Asian Kung Fu Generation, and Dance Gavin Dance, and it's called "Don't Smash Your Face." Ooh. It's about
I like that
maybe
name.
a little bit about the drama,
Fun
a little bit about the drama in the scene.
Well, AC, how's your week been going?
Based.
It's awesome.
Going good.
All right. Yeah.
Going real good. I took the yeah, it's going good. Full stop. No, I took the epic poem from the back of my published book, and I put it to music and made a musical mini book out of it, which is what I'm calling it. Because essentially, since it's the exact lyrics, it's essentially an audio book, right? But it's put to music, so I feel like it's kind of like a rock opera type thing, which gave me the idea to do another one. And essentially today I was able to write a new epic poem from scratch and put that to music, which I'm going to release tomorrow. So really excited about these. I think I'm onto something.
Yeah.
I just thought, like, what's the oldest way like stories have been passed down? Like, music and poems and stuff. So
Absolutely.
I'm giving it a shot.
From the hand of the father to the face of the son. But anyway. No.
All right. Well, I have my weekly streams I haven't done in forever. So-called weekly streams. I'm giving up on it, man. I got too much going on. I'd rather just keep the stream stuff to Iron Seas. I'll do streaming on my own channel when it comes to special occasions, but I'm gonna keep up doing videos.
Does it cut into your OF career? Is that really what's like kind of the dividing line there?
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, I write a bunch of fanfic
Corpus
on,
Man
on
6969.
the sides, But yeah. No, but I still got my Bad Faith reviews coming out. I'm still doing that, and I want time to write. So that's the biggest thing. And besides that, this week, there's
Keep
times
the bad
you have to
faith
come.
coming.
Yeah, you have to get down dirty, do some real man shit. So I'm walking my dog, right out the door, and I got one of those leashes that recoil back in, so it's got that big red handle. Groundhog right outside the house. Dog starts chasing, and I'm like, okay, cool. The groundhog's gonna run. The groundhog did not run. My dog snatched it up, started right, and I'm like, I'm not too concerned. My dog was homeless for a bit, before we got him. So,
from the streets.
Yeah, he's from the streets. But then all of a sudden, he yelps a little bit, and flings the groundhog off. I'm like, I got to get in here. So I run on up to the thing. He looks at me, and I just whoop-ow with the dog handle. KO'd. I thought he would just run. Nope, I'm just a fucking tank of a man, and one hit the groundhog with the handle of
You went full Oonga Boonga on it, dude. I thought when you posted the picture, I thought you had taken a pew pew and disposed of it that way, but no, you.
I thought too.
I did put a bullet in it, but that was to make sure that it was dead.
Okay.
But it was,
fresh kill. I was like, okay.
Coward, you kill it, then you
Double
kiss
tap.
it just to make sure.
Double
That's
tap.
how you know.
Yeah, I go to my neighbor's like, I got a groundhog, and I'm like,
Then you
I
eat
did
it.
it with this handle. They're like, is that metal? I'm like, no, it's plastic.
So whoever can do a Zoidberg impression should...
Then you gotta eat it part to gain its strength.
Yeah, there you go.
Of the groundhog.
Who can do a Zoidberg impression? Encourage him to eat it and salvage its crab meat.
Yo, it's like Mega Man powers. I get the ability to dig holes.
I ate it already.
You just get really long teeth in the front.
Yeah, you gain it's
Worst
like Mega
power
Man.
ever.
Yeah, it's like Mega Man.
All right, everybody of the Iron Seas and the Seamen. Enough of telling my tales of the groundhog.
Are you Battsauce already? Jesus.
I am.
Christ.
It's nights. and the sun goes down earlier. It is time
good night
to
when
discuss
Battsauce
the
appears.
movie of the week. This week's theme was fake bands in movies. And not surprisingly, Scott Pilgrim versus the World won. And
Frankly,
yeah.
I'm proud of School of Rock. I did nothing to promote it, and it still did pretty good.
I would have been really upset if School of Rock won. Yeah.
My marketing strategy would have been, hey guys, remember when he was still cool? That would have been my marketing strategy. And it might have worked, dude. I love that movie.
Yeah. I mean, I almost did. I would have done Tenacious D if it wasn't for that fact. What's up, Chill?
Did I didn't see the list. Did Spinal Tap make it on there?
No, it wasn't.
No.
Not picked. I was actually
No.
surprised.
See,
I feel like it's a very obvious answer.
Something. Yeah,
I chose
guess,
Metal
yeah,
Aqua.
but-
I put
What did Josie and the
Popstar on.
Pussycats make it?
Never stopped.
No shot Popstar was not gonna
Yeah,
There's
which
no
is upsetting,
way.
man. I feel like people, if they saw it, they'd be like, "Oh, this is a hidden gem." I can't believe they didn't go under the title of Lonely Island. It's the Lonely Island guys, but they didn't use that to market it. I don't know if
'cause
that's like
it's
an
just-
SNL thing or something.
As Norm
But, like,
Macdonald
dude-
put it, Andy
Yeah.
Samberg and them other two fellas.
I
maybe
maybe
they- maybe
the
they
U.S.
were-
government fucked Bin Laden. Come on, it's a banger.
They had a lot of issues using like the troop name when they did Strangers with Candy. No, not that one.
Holy crap!
Kids in the Hall. When the Kids in the Hall did their Brain Candy movie, apparently there was all sorts of problems with the legal breakdown for it.
Yeah.
So I think that might have something to do with why,
It's probably.
they're cautious
But-
to not attach their name. But Lampoons does it. National Lampoons.
They're a whole production company. But we're here to talk about Scott Pilgrim. Justin, roll off with our usual weekly thing if you did your job.
I always do
Real
my
quick.
job. Even
Okay.
the week
Real
that
quick.
it was misconstrued that I did not, I did. We just didn't go through it.
Wait. Let me
So I
lead
did
in
do
for
my job.
Let me lead in for Justin a little bit here.
The man, the myth.
The legend.
Justin will describe the film
Thank
to
you.
us. Go.
Oh, thank you, Kahuna. So, Scott Pilgrim, the movie, it's based off of a series of, I don't know what you call these. They're manga-esque, right?
They're comics.
Like
Comics, graphic
They
novels.
look like
Graphic
mangas.
novels, yeah.
Yeah, anyways, Scott Pilgrim plays in a band which aspires to success. He dates Knives Chow, a high school girl 5 years younger than he is, and he hasn't recovered from being dumped by his former girlfriend, who is now a success with her own band. When Scott falls for Ramona Flowers, he has trouble breaking up with Knives and tries to romance Ramona. As if juggling two women wasn't enough, well, Ramona comes with some baggage, 7 ex-lovers, with each of whom Scott must do battle to the death in order to win Ramona's heart. The movie's budget was $60 million, and sadly,
Bruh.
it boggles my mind, it only made $52 million, so certified bomb. We got music on here from Beck, did all the music for the band Sex Bob-Omb, and Metric, of course, with Envy Adams, The Clash of the Demon Head. That song was directed by Edgar Wright, probably best well-known for his Shaun of the Dead movie. Also starring, the cast in this thing is nuts. You got Michael Cera, who was very popular at the time, even as grating as he can be. You got Anna Kendrick in her best role ever. Kieran Culkin. I didn't know there was more Culkins. There's another one.
There are
he
many
is.
Culkins, yeah.
Allison Pill, Aubrey Plaza, Mary Elizabeth
Culkin.
Winstead, Jason
Brandon
Schwartzman,
Ruth.
a.k.a. NDA Andrew. We also got Mark Webber, Ellen Wong, and then Chris Evans and Brandon Routh. So
The
this
other
movie-
Culkin was in the
7.8
Signs movie, wasn't he?
Yeah. Who's that?
The other Culkin brother, he was in the Signs, right?
Yeah, he was the older son in
Yeah.
Signs. Yeah.
Now
I
that you
was like,
mention
wait,
it, yeah,
Mel
that's
Gibson
definitely-
is a Culkin? It's their brother.
How many of them are there? Three? Is there 3? Who knows? Anyway,
But
know
I think the
there's
best
at least
way
two.
to describe this movie, it's fun, right?
Yes.
It's fun.
Start
I don't
to
think you
finish.
can't say it's not fun, even if you don't like it.
this is America. I can say whatever I want.
But yeah, it's a box office failure, and I kind of struggle to see how.
Wait,
I don't know if that
was.
It was absolutely was a horrible
Huh,
failure, which just doesn't make sense. Hey, just turn your camera off if you're gonna light up. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because it's got a great cast.
It has a huge following of people to this day. I had never seen one lick of it up until I saw it this time.
Yeah, it's possible that it's so Michael Cera was kind of on a roll with movies at that point, but I did hear it was people were kind of sick of him. But I don't feel like that's enough to justify it failing as bad as it did. The director, Edgar Wright, just got done filming Hot Fuzz, so I believe that released before this. But either way, he had Shaun of the Dead. The guy was on a roll, and it's how did this movie fail? It doesn't make sense.
Was it the marketing? I'm trying to
That's
remember what the
only
marketing
thing I
was.
could come up with.
That's what the internet is saying, is that's a marketing issue. Because I even forgot, too, Brie Larson was in this. There's a couple other people. Thomas Jane. There's
The
so many
only
people.
good role she ever did, and it's almost infuriating watching it because she's really likable in this, and it's actually her singing, and her song kind of slaps. And so it's just
It's
I don't want to like
magic.
Brie Larson, but
Kinda
this is
slaps.
good.
Why'd they make her blonde? She's not blonde. Why did they make her blonde?
Right.
I
agree. I agree, Abdullah. It's a conspiracy.
It is.
Nah, it makes her look
Frankly,
bitchier.
they hate redheads. We all know it.
Yeah, with the
They do.
platinum
This is
blonde
the
hair.
start of it.
Are you trying to
It's
show us something? Chillikid?
Yeah, it's
No,
just a black screen.
I'm doing nothing.
Oh, okay.
Hey guys, check this out.
Dave,
The ginger
Please.
side
I'm calming
continues.
down
Do that.
before work. That's what I'm doing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah. But
I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
go
okay.
for it.
Dude, I mean, it had Captain America in it. Like, who
In
didn't
his
this
best
movie
role.
have, you know?
It had
This is a
Superman.
grand
Had a
role,
Captain.
yeah.
Had Superman and Captain America in the same film.
Yeah.
And the other thing is it has so many video game references, and a lot of movies don't do that. They're either just like about video games, or the only other time I see them is like if it's MMO references or something. And the fact that that was a tie-in too, video games are popular, so it's a comic. There was already an established audience, wildly successful
Oh,
comic.
the Expendables came out the same weekend. That might be a part of that too.
Oh yeah. Well, just
Yeah, that was a
the
big
9-bit
movie when
or
it came out.
Sorry, the 8-bit opening with the studio logo. Like it's it's like they don't miss a detail in this.
It was
definitely the most,
visually insane.
yeah. It's definitely
it's
the
so
most comic book movie. Like we just recently watched 300, and yeah, that had some like comic-esque stuff, but like this literally was like screaming comic with the onomatopoeias and everything, and like they're just using all these details and everything to work in there to make it be like a comic book.
It's framed like a comic. It's framed like a fighting game. It's pretty. They really went all out, which is the only way to do this
Yes,
kind
and
of
if you
film.
compare panels from the book, they recreated a lot of it, like panel for panel, line of dialogue to line of dialogue, scene for scene. I think it's something like when I look.
Oh,
last
so
time,
the
it's
comic
almost
also
like the
has
first
problems,
20
is what
minutes.
you're
Well, here's-
is almost a 1-to-1.
Well, here's the thing: the comic was still being written as it was produced. It finished and released right before the movie released, and the writer of it was right there helping them create the movie.
Yep.
And he actually stole panels, like not steal, but like he used panels from the movie into the comic. Like "You're dead" at the end. He's like, "Oh, yep, that's how I'm doing it."
Yep.
Which is like interesting. The movie was influenced from the comic then influenced from the movie. Like it's
Yeah, and it actually
The show, the
way
comic, they were
improved
they were swapping juices. Things got mixed up. We don't really know what happened.
I think the end result too is not only did you get a better movie, but the books were better too, because I think Brian Lee O'Malley was through book 4 or something at that point in time, and he was able to see the movie, process it, and think about it, and then he was like, I would maybe change this or make this a little bit different. And the book.
Oh, so is that why we
where
got the
they're
bad ending
basically-
in the movie?
They're like 1-to-1,
Bad
and there's
ending.
things he wanted to improve. Not that they needed it, but
Well, we should
See, that
definitely talk.
changed.
Like the ending is going to be a whole topic on its own towards the end. But
Which one?
and- right, there's two endings, and yeah, I mean we'll talk about that later. But so, a little fun fact: did you know that the studio really wanted Seth Rogen to be the choice for the main character?
Oh, God.
I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Dude, it would have been so
I
bad.
can't stand that guy.
'Cause I really think Michael Cera was a good casting for it. I know a lot of people had problems with him, but I think
It was
like,
either
he-
him or Jesse Eisenberg, right? Because they're basically the same freaking person.
That would have been.
That's a really good point. I
think
can't tell which
think
one I
about
would
the
like
think
better.
about the dweeby characters they play, the way they look, the way they act. They're the same.
What
person.
happened to McLovin though? I would have liked to see him in something else.
He might have made chill. He would have made the character too likable. That's the problem.
Oh, fair enough. I've never
Yeah,
seen the
fair.
movie yet, so I'm excited. Bummed out I won't be able to stay for the whole thing though.
No, you're good, man. You're good. You just make up opinions. That's what half of the people on here are doing.
I, for one, won't stand for it.
I won't
That's
stand
right.
for lies. And then, like,
That's right.
a couple shows back, Battsauce was like, "Oh yeah, I actually like this film. I wanted fights." I'm like,
300.
I declare there's
It's a lot of
no
competition.
taxes on Scott Pilgrim versus Nevada. What was it? Which legal case is this? Scott Pilgrim versus the people of.
But yeah, no. So the movie starts off very weird. It's kind of a weird thing that he's dating a 17-year-old. But that's supposed to be portrayed as like a crisis in his life because of the breakup that he had with the Envy, Brie Larson, that character.
Weird flex still. Just saying. I don't know. There's other. I don't know, man. You could have been a hoarder. You could have been other stuff like addicted to video games. A bit addicted to video games. I don't know, something that would explain.
It does make it. It is a harder thing to watch, dude. Just turn your camera off.
No, don't turn your camera off.
No, this is way better. CHILLKID, this is way better.
Yes.
Last night was really stressful at work, so I'm just trying to get myself ready so I don't punch out my coworker tonight.
No, you're good, man. Are we ever going to see bald on top CHILLKID? Is that something we're ever going to see?
If I ever start to go bald, abso-freaking-lutely.
Okay, so like just full beard, shave the top, look like a wrestler kind of thing.
Yeah. I might even go. At one point I did the old Hulk Hogan mustache.
Yes!
Just to freak out my friend, and I kept it for one concert, and that was it.
Back to you, brother.
Yeah. So. Any scenes that particularly
Battsauce.
stood? No, it's all good. I'm adamant about staying on topic and stuff. But yeah, no. So, who's your favorite ex-boyfriend? You know, there's a lot of things.
Chris Evans was so funny, dude.
Chris Evans, yeah,
he was so funny. Like he's the first one.
And after that, my gun or whatever it is. Oh,
Brandon Ruth was also really like the vegan was very funny as
his stuntman. Oh, another fun fact.
Punched the highlights out of her hair.
Did you know?
Not afraid.
Yeah, the vegan was definitely my favorite one. It just makes it better than everyone.
That's not, or that's half and half. Oh
yeah,
vegan, please.
Chicken's not vegan.
Yeah. Don't partake of anything with the face.
That whole bit was amazing. But Jackie Chan's stunt team was involved with this entire movie.
I mean, I think it makes sense. I thought the action, the combat in it is pretty good all throughout.
The fights were good. It wasn't just funny. The fights were actually good. That was
yeah, they were intense. This movie had great impact and just like the cuts, everything was so fast. This is like super ADD friendly because it's almost a 2-hour runtime, and I'm like, I wouldn't have cut anything. It was
bizarre the first fight, like when the Indian dude like started fighting, and then
so good.
And then the character was like he was able to fight right away. I'm like, oh, I didn't anticipate him being able to like be a Matrix fighter right away. This is interesting.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
Yeah. He does the song and what does he say? Hey,
the build up,
why is that
the
guy
edging,
dressed like a pirate?
Yeah, why
didn't you get my email?
Yeah, I love. She's like, "Oh no, they got a girl drummer." Every drummer in the movie is a girl.
Every single one.
We're playing against Crash and those boys. Is that girl a boy too?
Music jokes are on point.
Did you guys catch all the video game references? Because the kind of thing, some were sort of deep cuts. Even
many
like the
of
characters
them
turning into coins. Do you know what that's from?
That's a lot. Like
a lot of older.
Yeah, a lot of older games turn to coins. Yeah.
Name 3.
Like not like.
Wait.
That was so basic.
The correct answer is River City Ransom. It's from River City.
That was the best call out
and
ever.
so that was the one that started it.
I feel like I've seen that in many games, though. I don't know.
Some games have taken it, but it started with River City Ransom. The band called The
I was
Flash
thinking
of
about
Beaverhead.
Mario
Do you know what
games.
that's from?
Yeah, I was thinking Mario games too, but I don't know if they turn to coins necessarily.
There was a couple Mario games that do that, and then there was like rings in the
in Sonic,
Sonic.
And then
well, no, I guess you just
Street Fighter that
you.
I mean,
What's up, little man?
Oh, straight from Street Fighter, and then whenever Scott is all happy, he's like, "Hey guys, check it out! I learned the bass line from Final Fantasy 2. That is, he plays that real bass line from Final Fantasy 2, like note for note. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I love that.
Apparently, Michael Cera actually knows how to play.
Apparently,
he had to like
he's decent.
Play down because he was too good for the character.
Sorry,
he gives off major bassist energy. I'm just gonna throw that out.
Well, yeah, mid 2000s bassist energy. Yeah. Nowadays they all look like Danzig.
Yeah. It's like the bassist, but all of the bassists got together. Like, we have to do something to stand out again. It's been too long. Like, what if we all dress like extras in a satanic film? Yes, let's do it.
Yeah,
I love the bass battle that they have too, and that was one of my favorite exchanges in the movie. Was during the bass battle right before it. He's like, "We have unfinished business, I and he and me. Don't you talk to me about grammar. I dislike you, capiche? Tell it to the cleaning lady on Monday." It's just like that back and forth, man.
or
Monday,
with the
because
Indi- or with the
tonight's
Indian
Friday
guy.
night, and she has off on weekends. So
It makes sense, right? I just
Also,
like you, capiche?
Ramona
Oh, man,
Flowers,
so
was
good.
she worth it? Not worth it? How's our vibe with that?
So
Like, main motivation for the main character.
let's get into some of the negatives through the story, because Ramona Flower, the chemistry between Ramona Flowers and Scott Pilgrim was non-existent. And I think
that was kind of the point.
No, I think that was a big problem. I feel like it would have been a lot better if they gave her a personality.
You've
Or
never,
not.
ever-
Well, yeah, she needed a personality, but not only that, like they needed to show chemistry between the characters. Like, especially for the way that the story and the theme goes throughout it, it just doesn't make sense if she doesn't. Then the lesson he learned doesn't make sense.
I think that's Scott's character, though. He doesn't have chemistry with anybody, or even himself. I think that's kind of the whole thing.
Right, and that would have been good if that was what he learned at the end, that he sucks, which was the message of the story in the actual graphic novels. But that's not what we got in the movie. He earned the power of self-respect.
I will say, have you ever pursued a girl that's just no interest in you at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
As a guy,
How long you
yeah.
got?
and,
I got a
and
lot of
she's
songs.
so messed up that she's just like going along with him. Even when they first meet, she's like making out with him and she's about to like hook up with him and she's like, I don't know, like she's just a mess. So the fact that there wasn't chemistry there, but they were still like infatuated, I don't know. I thought it worked out just fine.
The
Given that
defense
his personality-
begins.
It can, I agree, it can work with a different ending. And don't get me wrong, I love, see, what made me pay attention to this more is literally, it was NDA Andrews' comment under your thing about being like, Michael Cera doesn't like learn his lesson, or Scott Pilgrim doesn't learn his lesson, and he's just annoying. And I'm like, yeah, he kind of doesn't learn his lesson at the end. Even though I do love like the whole oh, you get the power of love, and then he dies, he gets the one up, and then it's like, no, you get the power of self-respect. I'm like, I felt like it worked, but when you really think about it, I don't think it
He
does work.
didn't really act like someone who had self-respect at the end. He doesn't seem like he's changed at all.
Well, and that's not the thing that he did wrong throughout it, right? Because he messed, he fucked up with knives. Like, he cheated on her, and that was something in the book that him telling her that he cheated on her, that happened a lot earlier in it, and apparently her and basically the ending fight scene is a resolving of a lot of stories that happened much earlier in the graphic novel.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Interesting.
So
Is it worth reading the graphic novel?
I don't
In
know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
but it looks like it.
Justin, I know what you're gonna say. I don't.
Dude, it's so good. They're so fun, man. They're just fun books.
It
And
looks
there's more
really good.
Yeah, it's such they're so much fun.
I've gotten these notes from watching YouTube videos.
You lazy son. All of my thoughts are original.
I was doing research. Excuse me. How is that lazy?
I'm doing research. I don't have opinions. I'm a sheep. I need to look things up.
I don't have time to buy all the comics and read them for this week. I don't see you doing that, huh? But
I actually do buy comics and read them. I don't look stuff up before stuff like that. My opinions are my own.
yeah, and I do get that. I don't think it was wrapped up really well. Where Daniel P. Riley says the point was the two of them are socially stupid. Scott's naive twerp, and Ramona is a sociopath. Yes, but they didn't really explore that well. And I do get that's them going off at the end. The original ending, let's talk about that right now, was he ends up with knives, which would have been weird.
I would have. Am I the only one who thinks that would have been better? I thought the whole journey they go through was to show that, oh yeah, me and Ramona, I wanted this for the wrong reason. She's kind of useless, and then I'm also kind of. I don't know. It seems like that would
have worked because he literally just told her that he cheated on her, and then it would feel weird that he just gets with her right then.
I suppose it's because I wanted knives to get a win.
Yes, I want knives to get a win too. I just don't think the win for her is Scott. I feel like almost the best thing would
true.
be for him to end up with nobody for the way that the story's told, you know?
They should have just played Green Day at the end. I walk alone, like just have him walk off on his own, just like sad cry, and movie's over.
Oh man, Green Day might have ruined the movie for me if they were in it somehow.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, but
Especially
no, like,
that song. I've never connected with that song. It's like,
I'm
find me a river, Billy.
I'm younger than you and Justin though. That's it. I came out
Fair
like
enough.
my second album was Green Day, so we'll set that.
It was
I mean,
actually one of my first Dookie
Warning
was,
is
and
is
I-
one of the best
I
albums.
made the mistake of enjoying their music for a while.
Well, we opened the movie with.
Well, I mean,
with,
if you've ever listened to the album Warning, that album is excellent. It's a great album. I mean,
Some of their albums are really
CHILLKID,
good.
what do you think about Dookie?
all right, well,
What do you think
Dookie's
about Dookie?
Great, especially for
Guys.
a first
No
run,
bats.
for sure.
We're on a
A
tangent.
lot of good
I
tracks
love
on
playing.
that. Sorry,
I
my
love
bad,
playing with
Bats.
Dookie, man. I love playing with Dookie.
Can
Yeah,
you
so-
phrase that? Can you say that slowly? Okay.
I think we need to put you in timeout. That's gonna be a no for me.
So
dog.
the
Problem.
movie opens with Knives.
Guys, we're talking about Green Day.
He's a relationship with Knives, and like the first thing that like he kind of does is talk about how cool she is with his friends. It's kind of like bragging, right? It's more about how she makes him look good, like which is messed up.
And then he
It's kind of the
basically
vibe I got.
ignores her. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like
I
bragging to his
haven't
friends.
seen
He's
it,
like,
but
yeah,
I'm
she's really
starting-
cool, right? She's really cool, and they're like, yeah. But then when the second something better comes along, Ramona, he's like, let me hop on that train. Not literally, but you know.
Oh,
Let
so
me
you're
stalk
saying-
this
you're
girl until
saying
she
he
can't
left-
ignore me.
He left her for the second girl, and that's what the case you're making is he was supposed to have chemistry with Ramona.
Yeah, the girl that he left the
Yeah, but he's
the
gonna-
cute Asian girl for.
Yeah, if he's gonna end up with her, that's why I'm like, it's neither of the answers are good because he had zero chemistry with Ramona, so it doesn't make sense for him to end up with her. It's weird, and then he totally screwed over Knives without like properly patching that. Not like, you know what I mean? It would have taken time to patch that, and not to mention she's 17.
Not to mention it.
Yeah. So like neither answers work. You know.
Guys, I figured it out. This movie is relevant to a conversation we've had before. This movie stands atop the mountain, the Mount Rushmore of style over substance. The substance is really bad, but the style is peak. That's what this movie represents.
Peak style.
So you know, Bill, maybe I have to explain better when if I put the link out, you want to come on. But is his issue in was it self-respect? Was that the resolution for him to learn self-respect? I don't know if it is.
It's clearly what his character was missing. He didn't respect anything. He didn't respect himself or anyone else.
I just feel like his issue was him being a douchebag.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have any self-respect.
But it's not self-respect. It's self-respect. It's like he had no respect for others.
Because he didn't respect himself.
Which is,
They're
but
connected.
I don't think they did a good enough job of tying that together. And again, that's like another issue with it being, the timeline that they have, where it's like we didn't get to explore the issues that he had with Envy and how that whole situation went. You know, we didn't get to explore many.
I feel like a
Scott's-
lot got cut out. It felt like there was more story there than I got to see.
So and from what I've heard, the comic does show chemistry between him and Ramona, and there's the whole issue of it's just like couples keep on, putting their trauma onto other people and then creating trauma, so on and so forth. And I just don't know if that was demonstrated well enough in the time frame that the movie has.
I'm going to say something controversial here.
Sure.
I think the substance is not really there for me in this story. I think it fails a lot in a lot of story related reasons. But I think going for style over substance was the right move for this movie. If you had to only have one or the other, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, like these issues I'm pointing out, I really have to focus on it. Like the lights and the comedy and the enjoyment is all very
Him
distracting
jumping out
from
the
any of
window when
falls.
Knives is looking for him is one of the funniest gags I've seen.
Dude, yes, it kills me every time.
Reaches back in for the jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, he just left.
The way that the voiceovers like talk, contradicting what he's saying,
Oh, like how the inner monologue versus the outer words don't match. Yeah, that's always funny. Yeah.
Yeah, just
thing
the movie's just so well done. Sorry, Emily, what were you saying?
Yeah, no, you're fine. It's in terms of like storytelling or whatever. He lives in that little apartment, which those apartments are kind of strange looking. So he lives there with his roommate, who owns everything. And yet, what kind of bass does Scott play? And I assume it's his, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's Steven Stills. He has a Rickenbacker. Those things are like on the low end, 3,000, and you can get up in the 6,000s. I'm not sure that specific model. I'm like, this kid has nothing, but he's playing a Rickenbacker?
Maybe that's why he has nothing. He's like, I'm not going to be able to pay rent for like 3 weeks. Or like four like
on the guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, guy's really, really bad with his money. Why would he buy just like a piece of equipment like that?
He seems too lazy and self-absorbed to have a job for very long, actually. So who knows?
Well, yeah, I guess
in all
that's
likelihood, Rickenbacker paid for that.
I think Knives actually paid for it. That's my
in
opinion.
the comics though.
Well, he lived right across the street from his family.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's what he plays in the books.
Oh, in the books too. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably just the author taking some liberty right there. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I guess the beginning of the movie does really set up well how much of a loser he is. It's just him treating Knives so shitty. I think just
Knives is the best character.
Kills it, yeah.
He was nice to Knives till he wasn't.
I feel like, again, if they added some chemistry between him and Ramona.
They played that game together and everything, and they were
played
like,
the game. He made her pay for it. The high
made her
schooler.
pay for it and ignored her the whole time.
Yeah, that's true. He's broke.
Justin, I love you. I'm happy you love this movie, and I really like it as well. You're not gonna bring me over to thinking this movie is good for bad reasons.
Whoa.
Bad reason.
Heavily not
treat
laughing.
her decently until he doesn't. It's a fact.
He did not treat. Okay.
He meets her at the bus stop. He does these different things with her. They go to the arcade. They go to the thrift shop. He's teaching her about good music.
Chill kid.
It's not like
he is 22. She is 17 in high school. He makes her pay for it. There you go.
But he only cares, like he's only being nice to her because she gives him
Canada.
something, and that's
they're
why
more progressive up there with like men and women paying for things. That's all that is. It's Canada.
No, but he keeps on bragging about what her presence does to his status, and I think part of that goes to like he was dating like the most famous chick ever right before, and so now he's like worried about his status. I don't know, but he goes about
okay, I got to be honest with you. All these things you're telling me, it's about to be Scott Pilgrim versus me too, because this guy sounds awful.
Yeah,
it's Scott Pilgrim versus the world.
Problem.
It's the name.
Yeah. Which is ironic, because Emily is like, I can't stand Rocky. The guy hangs his hat on a knife that he put in the wall. Who does that?
I have to make a video of him talking about Scott Pilgrim and then Rocky.
he lives with a gay dude.
At least he lives in his own room
with him.
Yeah, he's supposed to.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
And they do a good job establishing that, and people don't like those qualities about him, and that's why you dislike him. Maybe if they had an old man say,
okay,
you know that Pilgrim kid, he's got a lot of heart. Maybe that would do it.
What do you mean? They did do that. Ramona's like,
no, I was poking.
Blow you on the second date just because I don't know. NDA Andrew broke up with me, and now I have no self-esteem. I think Ramona needed to earn the power of self-respect. That's really what needed to happen.
I think everybody except everybody in this film had to earn self-respect, and nobody had it.
Yeah.
It's almost like kind of Seinfeldish though, where like all the characters are all jerks, and that kind of makes it work. Or Always Sunny.
That makes sense.
Can be it's entertaining, but
Absolutely.
I don't think the story delivers the story it's trying to do.
I saw somebody make a comment that the NEGA, you know how he goes up against NEGA Scott at the end, and they're like, well, the thing is NEGA Scott's the opposite of Scott, so he's actually a really nice guy.
Yes, so Scott is admitting that
my
he's
NEGA
an a-hole. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep making that joke until I get canceled. By the way,
I believe in the comic he goes up against the NEGA Scott and actually fights him, and I think he loses.
Yeah, he
I
should.
Remember, the comic definitely dives deeper in and everything is more fleshed out. I haven't read it in a long time, so I might need to go back. But it's very different than the movies, from what I remember, or pretty different once you get to like book 3 or 4. Whenever the movie and the books were done, it changes, and I think you'll get more of the things story-wise that you wanted from the movie but didn't get.
That's a shame. It's not in the film that we're judging right now.
At this
It
point,
doesn't
I
matter
am
'cause it's
putting.
still awesome. The story is like it doesn't. It's just a reason to like do stuff. It's just so much fun. I don't even care.
Well, I will say
I can agree with
there
that.
is a story, there's themes, and there's effort put into this. Whereas in like a lot of comedies, they're just like, let's write the jokes, the story's secondary. This feels like they put effort into that stuff, and I think it really shows. Even though I could disagree that the landing may have been rocky at the end, it's still the
it's
effort
rocky.
and the care is there, and that makes a huge difference. That's what you should be like when you're writing any genre of whatever story. You shouldn't lack on any other aspect of the story if you have different aspects. Like if you have an action, if you have like don't lack when you tell some jokes in there because you're like, oh, it's just an action. Who cares if the jokes suck? No, put effort into the jokes. But guys, the stream link is in there. If you want to come in here and disagree with us or whatever you want to do, you can click on that and I will let you in.
Real quick. What was best and worst of the ex-boyfriend fights? Best and worst of the ex-boyfriend fights, or
I
ex
didn't really
fights technically.
Yeah, the one with Gideon was probably my least favorite.
I think so too.
I liked his sword. I don't know. I thought his sword was
his
a cool
sword was
effect.
definitely cool.
The sword
but
is
fight itself,
cool,
I don't know.
but the fight itself, he went through it twice, which is funny because it's another game reference. But yeah,
the first time he fights Evil X number 4, what's her name? Roxy Richter, was that it? That whole sequence, she pops up out of nowhere and he punches her. You punched me right in the boob.
That was a
then,
good one.
whenever he's supposed to fight her, he's like, I can't hit girls, they're soft.
and then she takes his hands and starts using him as a puppet. Too.
Well, so this is something that I like. I like when you don't have just swords, because I feel like swords are used in fight scenes as the generic. We're going to use it for everything. So it's like I like it when we get a mix up of weapons. And with the girls, we got a oversized heavy hammer and a whip, and I'm like, cool. I like that change up.
Battsauce looks over. You had me at whip. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I that was one of the better ones. The vegan one wasn't really much of a fight. It just was really funny.
Hot house.
Yeah. I wasn't too big of a fan of the Indian in the beginning, but
I love him.
I thought he
good,
was really
actually.
funny. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, 64
I can't decide between the
Okay,
vegan
yeah, I
fight
take
and ultra Chris
Chris
Evans
yeah.
fight. Like even walking out like with a dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that doesn't really care for the twins?
No, I was gonna say that the twins were the fight was cool, but the twins had no personality.
Yeah. Well, and
they're
also
more
it was
developed in the
two.
books.
Yeah. Well, it was two ex-boyfriends, and they also got nothing part of the story, and we got nothing of their personality. And I'm like, that's two just gone.
Yeah,
And
it's
was she?
like, I mean, at
is
that
it
point,
implying
he's
that
just-
she dated them both at the same time? Am I lost? Did
Yes.
she? Was she, okay? Just checking.
Yeah, he's just at that point. He doesn't care. He's just like, who's the next guy? Like, I don't care about their backstory. Neither should you. Of just your, on his level, it's just like, I'll kill
the
these
story
guys or
has
whatever.
problems because I don't think it does what it wants to do. But the premise is great. This guy starts dating this girl's like, oh, before we really date, wink. You have to fight all of my exes. That's a great premise for this style of a film.
Yeah. But
Oh yeah, the triple. Yeah.
yeah, no, the mute that song. It just felt like it was such a speed bump. They're like, we don't have time for this one. This is one we're just gonna rush through.
They
Hey
definitely
guys,
was a little
what if they
rough,
had giant
but, like,
kaiju
it was
projection
still-
monsters?
I mean, that was cool. I just
Did
and
you
it looked visually cool, but I'm like, I felt like it could have been better. I don't know. Maybe
And for the
it's
twins, do you know
beats.
what the video game reference was there too?
Dual Dragons? I don't know.
Yeah, Double Dragon. You got it.
Yeah. But it looks like
Yay.
everyone is too scared to click the link. Cowards. That's all I have to say.
I think they just don't want to be associated with retards, but maybe.
I agree.
You never know.
But
And
either way,
Chill Kid looks over. What am I doing here?
No, I've got an official diagnosis now. So
Yay! Joy. Join us,
I'm a certified retard.
All right, so final decision, Evely. Does it float?
What's that?
Does it float or does it
Does it
sink?
float?
Does it float? Does it
It floats.
float? You son of a...
Airship.
Kahuna, does it float?
I want to say no, just to
Just
spite
screw it.
Justin.
Hey, man,
but
it's okay. You can have really bad, awful movie takes. I still love you, dude. It's fine. You can be wrong.
but the movie, it does what I wanted it to do. It's a really fun time. It's a funny movie. It's a fun time. Cool fights, great acting, fun. Just it's a fun experience with a bad story. I'm all for it. So float.
I wouldn't call this story bad, but
Don't worry, I already did.
AC, does it float? Does it sink?
What's up?
Pritchard.
Does it float or does it sink?
I think it just barely floats.
Wow, it just barely
First
floats.
of
All right. Well, I think this is.
I
think
love
it's a
it for
clear-
the style. I love it for the style, though.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, think it's a clear float. That style is above anything else. The enjoyment factor is way up there. Yes, there's some flaws in the story, but this is too fun of a movie.
I personally think
Wait, if CHILLKID has negative things to say, I say we go with that.
negative. I was gonna say a joke, but the timing is off now, so don't worry about it.
No, that works.
Bring up your wife's last comment, C-Bats. I agree with this 130%.
Absolutely. Like
Yeah,
no
I like
contest.
Yes, absolutely
Yeah.
better than Highlander. That's true.
Oh.
Yeah, Highlander was great, but this movie is like, other than Lord of the Rings, man, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're like Lord of the Rings, Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
I cannot.
that's the order.
I cannot believe.
Wait. Oh, that's the order. I was gonna say
That's
which
the
is
order.
better.
Lord of the Rings is better.
Obviously, Lord of the Rings. It's okay that you're all wrong.
Look, guys, do you want me to post the link again? You can come in and argue if you want.
I'll take my shirt off. I'll do it.
He will.
I might do it anyway, but I'll do it.
That's not an idle threat.
It's not a threat.
It's a promise.
All right. All right, Kahuna. What's our next topic?
I will look it up because I had a picture of it right here.
It's dealing with the NEGA.
My nigga.
Dude, this live stream is definitely gonna get taken.
I'm gonna get
He's
tagged.
gonna think I'm saying the no word.
It's NEGA. It's the beginning of the
NEGS.
word negative. Yes, just to
Nay-
be very clear for anybody who
Ga.
might misconstrue with their ears that have wax in them. We are saying NEGA as a negative.
We're so screwed.
Yeah,
dude.
because
It doesn't
he
even
had to
matter.
face NEGA Scott.
Yeah.
And
Negative Scott.
I feel like that's a part of a lot of stories. Is you had to, we had NEGA Link is Dark Link.
I was just gonna say that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Flash Gets video with Dark Link.
And sometimes it's not just the physical embodiment that people are fighting in the stories. Sometimes they're facing their metaphorical NEGA.
The spirit.
Now, are we talking about that in this movie specifically, or just in general stories overall?
Yes,
Well,
but he
in
was
your
already
life story,
dead.
everybody has an ex that they to compete with themselves, right?
What?
Right. Inside of you, there are two towers, right?
Inside of us, inside of Kahuna, there's two wolves. One is gay, and the other one is gay.
That's such an old joke. But
Inside the rest of us,
There are two wolves inside of me, and they both say,
Yes! Oh my god, Queen, go off!
All right, so who's got their first comments to talk about with facing their NEGA?
actually, real quick, CHILLKID's not going to be here all night. Let's let him chill a little bit, talk about a couple of things, or maybe something he wants to talk about. Just he can't be here all night, so.
I'll be honest, I don't know if he was frozen.
Oh wait, there we go.
I'm trying
Perfect.
to fix my camera. Hang on.
Yeah. All right.
Can you guys
As
still
long
hear
as
me?
we get to
Chill,
hear
kid,
your
chill.
beautiful voice, it don't matter, boy.
It's still coming up here. Hold on.
Hold on. 11 out of 10.
Pilgrim is a 10.2 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's so crazy with your opinions on Rocky.
Rocky,
and then this,
garbage.
you're just
Rocky
like,
is it's not garbage. It's just a drama for like 90%.
he just
of the
doesn't
movie.
care when somebody mistreats
I have
a poor 17-year-old Asian woman.
I have enough real life problems in my real life. I don't need to see somebody else having them. I'm here to have fun and to be entertained. I want levity. My time is precious. Don't waste my
Pilgrim
time.
had problems too.
Yeah, but
Dude,
they're like
the
stupid,
way you-
cheesy, fake, dumb, not really serious problems. They're just like silliness. It's
The
just
way
funny.
you delivered that line the last stream, I don't like films that waste my time. Just so dead.
Waste my time, dude. I gotta clip that. I gotta clip that and put it in.
All right, chill, kid. Chill. Talk about what,
Yeah.
or we can talk about something you want to talk about. I'm down either way.
Well, I don't really want to show my stuff right now because I'm kind of feeling blackpilled on a lot of that stuff. You guys have been awesome, but there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on with trying to get releases out there. So instead, I want to talk about my oldest daughter just got her school band instrument, and she just started playing the xylophone, the bells. So I got to
Remind
dust
me
off
what
the
it-
old metronome for her and you set it up
Nice.
and help her out. So that's been
That's-
pretty cool.
That's so cool, dude. Was it an organic interest, or did she just join band and they're like, hey, here's something for you?
Well, she's been interested in the xylophone for a little bit. We've been buying her toy ones, kind of upgrading as she gets a little older. So maybe it's something she'll like playing in band, but that's what she asked for at school, which was a godsend because they have so many of them at school that she didn't have to, we don't have to rent it. We don't have to pay for it. She just gets to have one to use throughout the year and then bring it back because
That's
there's
really
a
cool.
lot of them. So that was a real blessing.
Is there a song that you're like, I can't wait to hear this on xylophone? Are you teaching her
I
some of your
hadn't
own
cons-
music? Like, hey,
I
get
hadn't
over here.
considered that, but she's already tried to play a couple of like melodies from my music, which is fun. But she figured out Twinkle
That
Twinkle
would be a
Little
really
Star.
cool crossover project.
Yeah, it would be fun because
Nice.
I have the xylophone in Overthinker. Right
Oh,
before
that's
the,
true,
the
yeah.
drop there. Like, yeah, that's possible. I dream of the day I can get my kids involved in the production and stuff.
No,
That'd be
that's cool, man. Plus, she'll be
Some
learning at
cheap
school.
labor.
And, yeah.
Pick that up. Put it over there.
It's like it's a modern day version of like growing your own help for the farm.
yeah. I mean, yeah, in a lot of ways. But well, and it's fun because we actually do have a farm. They help with getting the eggs from the quail and stuff like that and feeding them. So
How are
nice.
quail
Quails?
eggs for eating? Yeah, I've heard
they're
they're good.
very
but-
small.
They're
It
good.
takes 2 or 3 of them to equal the size of like a normal chicken egg.
Mm.
So luckily they lay pretty often. The more birds you have, the better. But
Nice.
most of the time I'm cutting them in with chicken eggs, just because I'm cooking for
More
5
people.
people. Yeah. So
Yeah, no, I feel that.
but they're
how's
great.
it- how
richer than
are their
chicken eggs,
flavors
right?
better? Or are they similar or the same?
Maybe they're a little bit more not tart, but maybe a little bit more salty. I haven't done like an in-depth flavor profile, but I mean they do have kind of a richer flavor, yeah. But that's with like organic eggs and stuff too.
Yeah. My
Have you ever had a
grandpa's
duck egg?
chicken eggs are way better.
I had duck egg soup once.
Dude, duck eggs are kind of weird.
What?
The viscosity of the clear part is so thick, it almost looks like corn syrup or something. And
I
they're
thought
hard
that was
to break
just the
their eggs.
soup.
When you open up, you're like, I don't know if I want to eat this. This is really, really thick. And they're like
Duck is a
400
weird
calories
animal
per
to
egg
eat in
because they're
general,
so
actually.
rich.
I've had some pretty decent duck, but I you know what? I think I know what you're talking about. I just thought that was the soup. I thought that was the rest of the ingredients. But yeah, I did have
Oh,
like this
I've
weird,
never had the
thick,
soup.
oily kind of
Yeah.
feel to it.
That's a very greasy animal to eat, like the meat itself as
I was
well.
just gonna say
Is
that.
it?
Yeah, it's greasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
very
kind of
greasy.
like ostrich then. When I was in Australia, I had a platter with ostrich, wild boar, and kangaroo.
Wild boar is usually pretty gross. Not gonna lie.
That was my favorite of the 3. but-
If you do, maybe
Aussie
they're
boar
different over
tastes
there.
different. It
Or-
hits
or-
different in Aussie.
Maybe they do what the Hawaiians do, which is you have to capture them and feed them for a while before actually eating them.
That's probably the case, to be honest with you. I don't think they're just going out and slaughtering them, but maybe.
Can you imagine being Australian? I'd be so embarrassed. Imagine fighting having a war where you fight against birds, and you don't lose the
They
war,
fought
but
against
you
the
don't.
cane toad too. Didn't they lose that one?
I think they lost every. They didn't win any of the wars they had with the animals. They lost.
Was that the one where they had to pay? They were paying people to kill birds, and then people were just raising the birds and bringing them in.
No, it was emus. They were. They made fences to try to stop them from like ruining farms, and the fences didn't do anything. They just jumped right over them. And
they sent the military, right?
Yeah, they created a military unit to hunt down and kill all of the emus, and they failed.
Crazy.
They failed.
Did they sign like a peace treaty with them eventually? Like King Emu got his little pen in the claw.
The guy put in charge of the project basically got demoted, and they gave up.
I want a cartoon where it's from the perspective of the emus, and they're like really likable, and the military's the bad guys.
Yeah, that would be
Attack
a
on Titan, but with
great
emus.
story. Yeah. hey, you know what? I wanted to talk to you guys about something. I keep coming up with these premises for books and stories and maybe comic book ideas, but I am absolutely hopeless when it comes to organizing myself enough to get anything like that done. But I think they're really good story ideas. Do you know anybody who just cannot get enough ideas? They're just writing all the time and they cannot stop? Because I got a ton of great ideas. I came up with an idea the other day. I was watching a cowboy, like a Western movie, and I came up with the idea of somebody traveling through like Indian territory, right? And they come across a brave, and he lays his rifle down to show that he's not there to attack the Indian, right?
Yeah.
But then the Indian camps out there, and he's like, I can't kill you if you're unarmed. He's trying to earn honor for his tribe or something like that, to earn his way back into the tribe or something important. So it's absolutely crucial that he only fight someone who's armed. And then the other guy's like, well, I'm not picking up my rifle if you're just going to kill me. And then they have to kind of work out their shit, you know? And then maybe they solve a couple of, it's like a buddy cop movie, but set in, cowboys and Indian
Wild West.
Western times. Yeah.
In the wild, wild west.
So they go through a bunch of stuff together, and then they, oh, we're not that different after all. And then, and then at the end he actually picks up his rifle and defends him or something.
I was gonna say cool. And then the end comes and he gets scalped anyway. No.
Oh, gotta look out for that.
Gotcha.
It's like now that you trust me. No. No.
If you guys know anybody who wants to take up these story ideas, they're free. Like I've got 100 of them, and some of them are complete. Like the story arc is there. You just have to develop it and write it.
Yeah, it's a fun idea. I think for most creatives, coming up with ideas, especially if you're a writer, coming up with ideas is never that hard. No. It's more about actually making it work. Trying to make it work is the hard part. The idea part, I have books full of ideas.
Or sticking to one
but
idea.
No, I've met a few who are just like they're really good hard work. They're working writers, so they just write. But then
I need to find somebody who's hungry, who's really writing, and because I can just supply ideas and they can just have them. Take these, please do something with this stuff.
Well, a couple of people like Belmont, Rippaverse as well. They produce people, right? And they, for comics at least, like they don't actually write the story.
A lot of these ideas are really good comic ideas,
Yeah.
But
well, so like Belmont, like his Fox story. He hired Mike Barron to write the story. He just gave him the bare bone ideas. Mike Barron wrote it, and obviously somebody else did the art as well. So he basically just produced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of them producers.
Yeah, I think he called himself like a director, kind of. Yeah.
Director, yeah.
And those things kind of exist, but yo,
Maji-chan, welcome to the chat.
Sorry, guys, got distracted. But yeah, no, I have whole books full of ideas. I have this whole 3 or 4 page spread in small script of just vampire stories. But vampires are overdone.
That's kind of gay.
I knew it! I saw your thing face. I knew what you were going to do.
I saw it too.
Right
I was like, oh, what's he going to press?
With these ideas, if you're writing the stories right now that are out of culture, they're gonna make movies about it in 50 years or 30 years or whatever, you know? Like a lot of these old books were way ahead of their time, or they came out at the tail, like a lot of Westerns that are getting made right now were at the tail end of when people were sick of Westerns, but they're really good stories, and now it's making a comeback, so there's a lot of good Westerns coming out.
You're getting into my future video idea where it's like originality is relative to time.
Spoilers.
Yeah, that's true.
Where it's just like, if you take, what was that copycat movie that came after the Hunger Games? Divergent.
Oh,
like,
Divergent, yeah.
Oh,
Divergent
actually
came
I
out.
thought you were going to
wasn't,
say the
but,
Starving Games.
yeah.
I know, but it's like it comes right after, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's just another post-apocalyptic blah blah blah."
Imagine
It's
if
Hunger
this
Games
girl
copy.
Imagine if this girl was not like other girls.
Yeah. But if that was written like 10 years later, people wouldn't have. I'm not saying the story would be good, but people wouldn't be considering it like unoriginal, a copycat of Hunger Games. Yeah. So
Oh
it's
no,
like
those
time
those
plays
books
a
were
huge-
also
I
bad.
think
Those books
young
were
girls-
also bad. Hunger Games.
No,
was
I know,
bad.
I know.
Need these kind of role models, like Megan.
Fox.
No, just met the robot.
Are you talking about the doll?
I was gonna say the robot.
Yeah, I was thinking of movies where there's a female lead, and I was like, Megan.
All right.
Oh yeah, she seemed nice.
I was trying to think of a role model named Megan. My first
The joke
thought
was
was
that it's
Megan.
not a
I
good-
thought Megan Fox too. So
Fair enough.
We thought of her because she's hot, and we both watched the original Transformers film. But no, not a role model.
So what you're saying is I need to work
Fox
on my
is better than
delivery.
the Stallion.
No,
Yeah,
we
no.
no. Battsauce and I have to stop thinking about Megan Fox. I think that's the real
yeah.
message. here.
All right. So
I
instead,
think
let's
that's accurate. She's
transition.
about as heavy as a stallion. So.
Yeah. Wait, where is it? We have topics to get through. Damn it.
I'm
How do
gonna
we
have to
deal-
duck out in about 5.
All right, man. How do we deal with our NEGA?
Dude, I can't with that name, dude. I'm gonna get canceled. Okay.
But like I said before, we're talking about like Dark Link facing your shadow, as the philosopher's putting it. The shadow of your ego, or whatever Carl Jung said. But
Shadow
so
self.
it's not just
Young.
a physical opposite. Maybe it's a metaphorical opposite.
It's a spiritual opposite. It's something contained within you. It's not even an opposite. It's technically your darker nature. It's what the selfish part of you would do if you were unconstrained by morality and your life experience.
And in storytelling terms, it would be your foil. Because in like we established in Scott Pilgrim, it was kind of just the opposite, and it turns out he's the bad one.
It was successful, kind, good guy, good with the girls. Really had his life together.
Yep. And the foil is like just another character that's the opposite of the other character, right? So,
It depends. It like the nega in a story can either be like the foil, like AC is saying, or it could just be the evil, unrestrained side of an individual person.
The beast within, yeah.
Like, I think I'll bring up Oathbringer, the third book in the Stormlight Archive, which is way better than any of the books in Mistborn, by the way. Just tossing that out there real quick. Unrelated to anything, but yeah, no, Dalinar, that book goes into his past, and you really, in that book, get to see him confront his shadow through memory of who he was as a younger man, because he's from a warrior culture that focuses on conquering. And like in their belief system, there's no greater call for a man than to be a conquering war hero. And he was a vile human being. He was very effective, but vile, and very, like, he was a tyrant of the worst kind. Not the worst kind, but like a very vile man and a tyrant, to be sure. And so you get to see a character you spent like 3 books with getting to love, finding out that he was not always this wise, good man that you've seen him as before.
I like that. It makes me think of my story of Memory of Mortality. I just realized that the character 99 is becoming his shadow self. Like, his shadow self is like who he used to be before war, basically. And so there's this whole like duality going on as the story unfolds. Really interesting stuff.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
more I think about it.
And in philosophy, it's about conquering your shadow. You can't destroy your shadow. You have to learn to.
Well,
become a
it's
better
automatically
self by-
it's an abstract. It has no substance, so you can't really get rid of it. You have to understand it and embrace it and incorporate it into your
embrace it.
personality.
That's the key word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Embrace it as in like learn from it and not let it control you, right? Like you could very easily think about somebody with PTSD that has spurs out,
if you ignore it, there'll come a time when it comes out and you'll have no idea how to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's
A dangerous man is a dangerous man's not somebody who's capable of nothing. No. What is it?
What the?
What?
If you're not, I think the saying is if you're. Hey, listen. I think the saying goes that if you're not capable of violence, then you're not like a threat or anything.
Being harmless is not a moral virtue.
Well, okay. Well, but the saying is like
some Jordan Peterson kind
you
of
need
stuff.
to be capable of violence, but then have it under control because that's like true virtue or something.
Yeah,
and that's
you
like
need to be a monster. You gotta have inside a monster that you can gain rule.
Make sure your room is clean too. No monsters.
Passion, strength, and capability restrained is the mark of manhood, basically. But yeah.
Hierarchies,
Well,
hierarchies.
And like you were saying, if you ignore it, it'll come out, even worse. I think even like the original concept of the werewolf was the Hulk, yeah, but the werewolf is the concept of the shadow, just the monster coming out.
It's like it's the wolf in the closet we've been ignoring, but it's just like the more you ignore it, the bigger. If you ignore it, it becomes dangerous. If you feed it, it becomes bigger. It's you have to acknowledge that it's there and deal with it in whatever way, through whatever means you can.
You gotta feed your werewolf.
Yep. The werewolf.
Give him some scraps.
The werewolf in the public.
It's not simple.
The werewolf in the public vampire. The werewolf in the public, the secret public vampire, right? Like was it? There's like
sounds
vampires
like a gay
that kind
book.
of are
Were
out.
they in London?
Well, they mingle with like the public, right? They're not always like Nosferatu or whatever.
I don't know, dude.
But, like,
Vampires
the werewolf
suck.
and the public vampire, they're both
get what you
very
mean,
symbolic because of like that beast within. Especially like the werewolf is more of like an untamed, chaotic beast within, and like a vampire-like character is more like a
Malevolent
refined, secret. Yeah, like they drink blood. You know what I mean? So like that's why a lot of them are like lords and stuff. Even though that like makes sense with their long-lived nature and charming and stuff.
It all ties back into like classic literature has a lot of that kind. Like you see the same ideas come up again and again in different stories. Like you have the classic vampire stories, and you have like Picture of Dorian Gray. Same kind of thing. It's like beautiful to look at, but what's on the inside is rotten and vile and terrible. And
like here, check this
So
out.
like the WEF.
Real quick.
Pretty much.
Real quick. The fuck did you just say to me, Sebastian? What the fuck do those words mean?
You heard him. You
What
heard
the
him.
fuck?
Say it again too.
Yo, go say it to my face, motherfucker.
he can only read 3-letter words.
Say it
You
in my
can't do
fucking
this to him.
face.
Mythologize predatory aristocracy, dog.
Mythologize predatory aristocracy.
You can't even pronounce that word, man. Get out of here.
One of the
I gotta
best.
take off. I appreciate you guys.
Chillkid,
Sorry,
thanks for
man.
coming on, man. I
Yeah, dude,
appreciate
thanks for
it.
dropping by. Good talking
I'm
with
glad
you.
it worked out. I'm tired of ruining everybody's stream with my bad internet, so I'm glad it worked.
No issues, man. It's perfect.
Dude, you
appreciate
did it.
you.
I'm so happy.
Yeah. So thank
Also,
you for inviting me.
I
Had a
bought
good
I
time.
bought your album. It's great, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
You guys are the best. I appreciate that, and I'm trying to get everything set up for the vinyl to be coming out soon. So
Get it?
yeah. All right.
man.
Well, you
Adios.
boys have a good time. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah, we're gonna keep fight. We're gonna keep fighting with our negas here.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
We gotta
well,
keep
I
our
appreciate it.
negas under control. You know what I'm saying, player?
So now I guess I have to watch this movie now that I've read the Cliff Notes with you. So
Yeah. Come back with a video. Tell us what you think. I'd be
I'll
curious.
let you know what I think of it. So I appreciate it. See you later.
Later, dude.
God bless, man.
Yeah.
He's like, not so chill kid. A response: my truth.
Yeah.
So I was saying one of the best examples of like werewolf symbolism is like drug addiction. If you can make like the werewolf twist in your story kind of come off like like if you can draw some allusions to that, because that's kind of how like really deeply entrenched addicts tend to act, is like,
Well, yeah, you wake up, you don't know where you are, you don't know what you've done, and you've probably done something horrible.
naked,
Yeah.
Your
naked.
butt usually hurts too.
Yeah.
That's a cool
Yeah.
take, because with people that are addicts, they're seeking out this thing. It has control over them, but there was a time when it was just fun, and they're trying to like. So the idea of you have to do something dangerous to get like werewolf powers, but you're seeking that out, and then it goes too far.
And it becomes stronger each time you give into it.
Or
Yeah,
how about
have it
this?
as-
Even just the denial, right? Because tons of addicts are like, no, I have this under control, bro, and they're good for like however long, and then all of a sudden, where's so and so? They're just gone. They disappeared, and
Turns out it was not all good in the hood.
yeah.
Well, that was something we were using because that shadow philosophy, used with comes from Carl
Big
Jung.
words scare a special boy.
Yeah, that was the basis of the power system with the sci-fi world we were creating. Basically, and it's used very heavily in Berserk. Obviously, the Berserk beast is his shadow, and yeah, it is one of those things. Like, you have to confront your shadow. You cannot let it just stay in the dark where it grows, and that is why when it comes to therapy, what was it called? When you just discuss, like, you just talking it out, right? Basically, that is usually what helps. It's because like that's a part of confronting your shadow is talking about your dark stuff.
Not well, at least acknowledging it. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
and I think I have a I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in modern day therapy.
No, I don't either. That's why I hesitate to bring it up. But that is one of those things that like definitely does work. Is talking about it. Yeah.
See, Bets, I went to a therapist for like 6 months a while back. We both, at the end, we came to the conclusion that therapy could not help me, and that my life was just not really good at the time, and there was nothing I could do about it. That was the conclusion we both came to. It was just therapy is does not solve. It's not a solve all problem like a lot of modernist people kind of pretend that it is.
Nah, I think we know that is yeah. Let's get off that topic. Sorry, I brought it up.
Good transition. Okay, how about
are we still done talking about the negas though?
Are they allowed to vote?
What? What do you mean?
I'm making bad jokes. Moving on.
Dude,
Shadow Those shadow self votes.
Sure. Yeah. No, so then you look at Dark Link, you look at Nega Scott. Those are very simple, illustrations or personifications of what the shadow is, used in philosophy, just given visual representation. Do we have any other examples that may have used it in a little bit less obvious way, I guess?
Well, anytime somebody is struggling with when someone's struggling to make the right decision because of the personal cost that would be associated, their shadow self is urging for them to do the thing that is in their power to do, but is not necessarily right. A thing say there's a man and he's struggling. It's like there's this person who has come up against me like an enemy, and they have continually done things to ruin my life. I have the ability, I have the power to simply end him. I can be judge, jury, and executioner. But that isn't who I am, and that's what the dark part of me wants to do. But that doesn't mean that that's what I should do.
It's like your dark instincts, right?
Yeah.
And,
The Shining, Jack. Yeah. That's a great example. That's a man who fully, like, his shadow becomes dominant in that story. That's what that is.
Right. Well, a lot of men, tend to become very violent, and that's because we all have that beast in us, right? And it's a matter of the real men that control the beast and don't let the urges necessarily take over us and go into violence all the time. Not saying that there isn't a time to, when you have a groundhog on your property where you got to let the beast out.
You need to be capable of it.
Yeah, you have to be in control.
You need to be capable of violence.
Yeah. Gollum.
Like we're talking about it from a male perspective mostly because we're all
Men.
here.
Man.
Anyway, but with women, I think the shadow looks a bit different because obviously they're not the same physical force that men are in general, and so the shadow for men and women is usually manifests differently. The shadow for a woman is someone who is overly jealous or manipulative,
very toxic.
Guys, we're going to talk about toxic femininity. No, we're not going to do that, but.
And that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up because we are, as far as I understand, we're going to be talking about the Nightmare Painter and that dynamic of, guys and gals and that whole world.
Misandry.
Yeah.
And that book and talking about how ideas need to be given, like, it's just, like, if you don't acknowledge it, it will take on the form of a nightmare. You have to give it shape to turn it into something else. You have to give it intention. I think that's a really, really apt comparison there. The problems are that witches are
So hot right now. So hot.
All right. Any other thing we want to cover with negas?
Just one question for you. Would you put your Battsauce NEGA in the back of the short bus? I want to know.
Oh yeah, you have the most famous NEGA.
Every seat on the short bus is the back seat, my friend. That's because we're the cool kids.
That's where the cool retarded kids hang.
Kahuna, you
my
have
bus is full of my negas.
Kahuna has a gender bent nega. He has a gender
what was that?
Nega.
Oh,
You have a gender bent. Yeah.
do I?
Yeah.
Watch
Do
this.
I?
What's your name?
This is the one.
It's a persona you do.
Oh, Leslie.
Yeah, Leslie. Yeah.
That's not my dark side.
That's your nega.
It's like, what's his dark side? It's a
Cross-dresser.
Is there like a person that's like a horrible person, and so their shadow self is like Leslie?
Hi guys, my name is Leslie.
Leslie.
I'm the Kahuna shadow.
I feel
they
like
have to
that is
fight that off,
Hey, maybe do we have trans allegory going on here? Maybe that's people's shadow being personified.
His shadow isn't a wolf. It's like Guts. His shadow is a wolf. His shadow, it's just a gay guy. Yes.
It's a gay wolf.
It would
It's a
go along
chick.
with the whole Scott Pilgrim psyop theory if his nega was like his true self.
We need to move on. I can't. I'm going to keep laughing. I can't.
Dude,
help
this is going to be the one clip that actually gets views on
gonna
our
get-
channel.
Dude, I'm telling you, my negas, it's going to be huge, dude.
Huge.
But not every good idea deserves a statue.
It would have been so great if I had a really racist clip to play right there.
Bro, we're already in trouble.
I know. All right.
Based.
The next topic. Comic to movie. Adaptations. There are a lot of comic... Whoa, not working. There we go. Fixed. There we go. A lot of comic to movie adaptations. Many of them are fine. Most are bad. Some are really good.
My quick thoughts on this, super succinct. I think if you take Scott Pilgrim, 300, and Sin City, and kind of just analyze them in a school-like setting and break it down and like all the storytelling elements and everything, you can actually get all the ingredients that you need to actually properly adapt comics to movies.
Yep.
Thoughts?
And I think, so those are great examples, and I think if we wanted to look at bad examples, let's look at everything else that Snyder's done.
Everything else that many other people have done too, adapting comics, right?
Well,
Yeah.
it's like there's two, like V for Vendetta is another good example of a comic adaptation.
30 Days of Night is close. No cigar, though.
No
Good
cigar?
movie.
Well, I will say
good movie.
there
It changed a lot though.
there are good movies that aren't good adaptations.
Yeah,
There are
The
good-
Shining
there
is
are-
a good movie, but it's a bad adaptation.
Yeah, probably a lot of Stephen King stuff is
Oh no
better movies
So,
than adaptation.
a lot of his adaptations that are very accurate are not very good. That's the truth,
Yeah.
unfortunately. That's because the needs of a film and a comic or a book and a film are very different. That's the thing. Things do need to change. Like The Lord of the Rings is not super faithful in certain instances, but it's faithful to the spirit of the work, and it changes things in ways that make a lot of sense, in my opinion. But we're talking about comics specifically. There's the whole genre of like superhero stuff too. That's yeah.
I mean, we've got plenty of examples of that done poorly. But I mean, comics are so much easier because the comics have already retold the stories 1,000 times. So it's like, do we care too much if the story's told differently? I think the MCU is a great example of it done pretty successfully up until a certain point in time. And, you know, Infinity War was much different than how that went down in the comics. Still
Infinitely.
Still good. At least, you know.
Thank you for
Endgame
chuckling.
at least had a good fight at the end, you know.
Dude, Infinity War is the better half of that ending, but I also like Endgame. I knew after Endgame I was done with Marvel, so, yeah.
Well, it still had the hype of of Infinity War, so it's just like it's like when you look back at it now, you're just like, can we just skip it to the last fight and ignore the cringy girl boss moment?
And when Captain Marvel got her kicked in that film, the entire theater cheered out loud.
Absolutely, dude. Oh man, I don't want to get. I don't want to
And
go on that. So Lord of the Rings.
real quick, Daniel brings up a good point because we're talking about comics, and Daniel says that MCU is not comic adaptations, and he's kind of right. We're taking the concepts of the characters, but we're not taking very many specific comics. We're taking the world established and creating our own. Then they created an imitation of it, but it truly wasn't a comic adaptation, in my opinion. I do kind of agree with that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So let's maybe stick to the.
All right, I gotta go.
All right, later, AC.
Peace out, brother.
Does anyone else have the Chill Kid video clip that we can play at the end?
I
Kind of want to roll on that. So, if Kahuna, if you can find that, maybe and
Which one?
pull it up. The Chill Kid song.
Oh, the song?
Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream playing that.
Did AC have it on YouTube?
No, I don't think so, but he messaged it to us on Twitter. All right, so do we got good examples of, I guess, poorly adapted but good comic book adaptations?
You said poorly adapted but good, like it's not faithful to the source material, but the source material, but still turned out as a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a
I
tough
mean, I
one.
think
I
there's
don't know if I can
definitely,
think of an example.
examples out there. But I mean, like,
V for Vendetta is very different in some ways from the comic that it's adapted from, but it's a very good film.
Well,
I heard
Watchmen,
Constantine was pretty different from the comic too, but I liked Constantine.
Constantine was really good. I mean, that's another one. That's DC. I mean, Constantine's a DC. The problem is, it's the same thing with all the DC and Marvel stuff. It's like, again, those stories have been retold in so many different ways. We don't, we really don't mind when the adaptation is not faithful, like the other stuff. Like, we want certain aspects. Like, we want the character to be the characters, but besides that, like, we don't mind them going on a story that we might not have seen them go on before. You know.
Daniel, Blade was a really good comic adaptation. It's not really faithful in some ways to the comics, but it is a very good movie. Yeah. So I guess it depends. Like, does it have to be faithful to be a good adaptation? Can it be faithful in spirit but not faithful in detail and still be?
Man,
I think it depends what the source stuff is, and that's why I'm saying it's just like when we talk about comic books, it's different. Because of how many times it's been retold. I think when we talk about like a book adaptation, no, we want the story to go how the story goes. Like, we want more than just the characters to feel like the characters. We want the story properly adapted, usually, right? Unless it goes off and a whole different thing. Okay, here's a good one. Which, people probably disagree whether it's good or not. Ready Player One. Very different than the book. Very, very different than the book. And I liked both. I thought the book was much better. But there was no way that if they did it like how they did it in the book, there was no way that was going to be an entertaining movie.
I think we should try to limit this to comics as much as we can, just because books it's such a huge subject. Because every movie is based off a book. If you include
that's true, but
this
this is a good example.
No. I reject your reality and I substitute my own.
Yeah.
And it's on theme with the video game references since we were already talking about Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Ready, fight.
Yeah.
I thought the book was pretty entertaining. I'd be curious because the thing is, just because I can't figure out in my head how to take some of the scenes from the book and make it into an entertaining movie scene, I think there's probably better ways to do it. Like they added that car race in the movie to make it more exciting, and it just felt really weird to me compared to the book. Like the spirit of the thing was almost kind of lost at that point on some level.
Which movie?
He's talking
Ready
about
Player
Ready Player
One. Yeah.
He ignored what you said.
I was typing, frankly. Frankly, I wasn't listening.
Well,
you should be worth listening to. Try harder. No.
I thought that was
Scrubs.
I thought that was the better choice. I'm still talking about Ready Player One. I thought that was the better choice because, like, the alternative in the book of Ready Player One, he's playing an arcade game.
Yeah,
and it's like that's not going to be entertaining to watch.
I think there's a way you could edit it to make it work. I think that people that make movies all the time and it's their whole job.
I just think the race needs to be
way.
better. I think the problem with the Ready Player One is when he's like, oh, the key is just to drive backwards. I'm like, really? Nobody tried that? Nobody tried to drive backwards?
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh, man, you really should see Ready Player or read.
I've never read the book and never
worst.
seen the movie.
Ready Player One, the book
fun.
is fantastic. I love the book. Ready Player Two is the worst book I've ever read in my life.
I didn't know they made a sequel.
There were so many chapters. It came out like a
recently.
year ago.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, there's like a chapter or two that's dedicated to framing J.R.R. Tolkien as a racist, and that the orcs are black people.
What
Dude, it is insane
pile of crap,
Yeah.
dude.
So like, yeah, big part of it was like, and again, think about the type of characters they are. They're the egg hunters. They know every little detail about the creator's like history, right? And they know that he's a big Lord of the Rings fan. The main character never read the Silmarillion.
Oh boy.
Yo, you think if you're gonna look for hints, maybe the Silmarillion might fucking have something?
Maybe,
so
yeah.
it plays a part in the second book, and they're like they have to do this part, and his black friend is the one that read the Silmarillion and chews him out for it. And then they're like looking at the beauty of it, and they're like, yeah, it's just too bad that he was such a racist. It just sucks there can't be any black people. It was insane. It was insane.
Oh, wow.
I like in the Rings of Power. Sorry, you just brought it up. The one opportunity they had to cast a black person as a canon character and have it make sense, and they cast like the whitest man on the planet to play that character.
And which one is this?
I didn't watch it, but someone pointed out it was one of the not Middle Eastern people. What do you call them? The what are they called? They're the men of the East. They're all those guys. They had a couple of scenes with those characters, and they're Arabic and or black looking, and they could have done it then, and then they didn't. I was like, what a waste.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain's tired.
Nah, that's fine. Yeah, man, I'm failing to come up with if chat can maybe help us on this one. I can't come up with a comic book adaptation that was good, but was adapted poorly. And that's why I had to go to Ready Player One.
Well, it's like
Conan?
they change almost every single adaptation changes some details.
Conan?
But Conan, it was more.
That was an original story.
It was,
and it's a good movie.
I think, like, here's an aspect of the topic I think we could dive into a little bit more, and that is Mortal Kombat. But no, it's that when people would change things in adaptations before, like when we were growing up, we usually didn't mind as much at the time, like especially if they did a good job. But now they're making changes, they're making a bad product, and they're changing things that alter the spirit of the work itself. I think if you can do a good adaptation that like catches the spirit of its original inspiration.
That's the important
Yeah.
part, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I've argued with Royce about this. It's not a comic thing, but it was like one of my favorite biblically inspired movies is The Prince of Egypt. I adore that film. I think it's an incredible film.
Yeah, yeah.
And people are like, it's not historically accurate. It's not biblical. I'm like, it captures the most important things it had to do. It did with flying colors. It captured the spirit
I
of
don't
the
think
story.
we're gonna get good examples for the comic book stuff on this. Like, it's just
Alita was not a great film. It was a fine film, but it wasn't.
people
a great
talk
film.
about that being really good. I thought it was pretty good. Like, it was enjoyable. Wife really liked it. But yeah, I don't know. It was definitely different.
Yeah, again, like I think, like again, V for Vendetta, it changes some things, but it doesn't change most things. So, like, is it a fully accurate adaptation? No, but is it a mostly accurate like adaptation? Yeah.
Well, that's probably one of the typical things where the limitations come in with the time. You know, you only allotted so much time in a movie. So
yeah,
like,
and Watchmen, that like they made a couple of changes, but the heart of the story was still the same, and was still mid.
They made changes that made it better.
They did actually. They did.
Yeah.
Wait, was that Zack Snyder also? Yeah, that was Zack
Snyder.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a little bit, but I've never felt a need to rewatch it.
Oh, I definitely did.
You're talking
Rorschach
about
is such a
Vendetta?
good
'Cause
character.
that we're coming up on that one, right?
What's that? Sorry.
You guys are talking about V for Vendetta?
Oh, we
we're
did
talking-
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what Zack Snyder film were you just talking about that you said you see one scene and noticed
Watchmen.
see it again? Oh, Watchmen. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I didn't like it.
Yeah, of
I don't
course
need
you
to
guys
see
don't
blue
like it.
naked penis again. I just don't. If I want that, I'll just watch Avatar again.
What were the things that you liked about Scott Pilgrim?
Who, me?
No, Justin.
Oh, me? The pace of it, the jokes.
Oh, well, whatever reason you like Scott Pilgrim, I'm sure it's the exact reasons why you'd hate Watchmen.
One is entertaining and one was not as entertaining. I don't understand.
No. Battsauce. One was fun, and the other was not fun.
Yeah. Oh, is that what you're getting at? You want me to say the F word?
It's like Joe. One of them was bad people doing bad things with good music, and the other was bad people doing bad things with bad music.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
let's go into Star Wars a little bit here, right? Like, I think the books that came after the original trilogy, they captured the spirit of Star Wars.
And they also
Disney,
explored new ideas, which is what you're supposed to do. You know?
Exactly. And Disney
Sucks.
did not capture the spirit of
I think
Star Wars. So it's like, that's why it just was very poorly done.
I think I'll say this. I think The Force Awakens captured the spirit. It wasn't a great film, but it did capture the spirit.
I think literally we were tricked into liking The Force Awakens.
It's
because
way
we were
better than the next two films.
We were so hyped. Is it really though? When you really look at that was a piece of junk, man.
It's the only one I would
literally just
yeah.
They replayed some Memberberry stuff and we're like, oh, we like it. But the actual story, like the way that they beat they get the planet destroyed, you know, they get the shields down. They go to one of the top like generals, you know, Captain Phasma or whatever the fuck her name is.
Oh,
and
Lord.
she just deactivates the shield. And the story is terrible. Kylo Ren gets beat up by like a girl who never trained a day in her life.
I mean, he was dying, basically. but
Han
I'll let
Solo
it go.
gets outsmarted on his own ship by a girl that's never repaired anything, as far as we can tell. I shouldn't say repair anything, but oh, what about the antenna to the little robot? You know, like she's a fucking junker. Like that doesn't translate into fixing
It's like
the Millennium
you
Falcon.
fix DVD
Right.
players and hologram projectors, Ray. How do you know how to fix a starship?
The problem is we're on a different topic right now, but like The Force Awakens was just as bad
It
as
was
the other two.
It's infinitely more watchable than the other two.
It's really not. I think it's literally just like, because look, you can later analyze a movie and be like, oh, this is bad. But the thing is, like, the initial feelings you have in a movie are so strong. That is the biggest determining factor in the rewatchability of something. So, what did Daniel say? She walked the plank.
You should walk the plank.
Well, I haven't even got just died too yet.
He's talking about me.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Goober.
No, I think people were so hyped and wanted to like Force Awakens so much that in turn just made people view it as good. And since they didn't have a moment where they literally just said fuck Luke Skywalker, that was enough for people to be tricked into being like, oh, I actually like this.
I thought about this a lot. If the next two films had been good, we would look more favorably on The Force Awakens.
Well, absolutely.
Because the problem was it was setting up a lot of promise and setting up a lot of stories to be fulfilled later. And because those stories were fulfilled so poorly or completely fucking ignored Star Wars in the next two films, that made Force Awakens worse. It was like the opposite of what Rogue One did for the original trilogy. Rogue One was a good independent story that fixed plot holes in the original
It's got
story.
the same issues as The Last Jedi, though, but like, since it was so early on,
It's not intentionally
it gets
offensive.
some
It's not
forgiveness.
trying to poop on Star Wars. Though.
Why was Luke Skywalker not helping at all? Why was he on this island?
Yeah.
Like, the reasoning that they were going to give was, oh, he was just training? What the fuck do you mean you're just training?
No,
What the
no.
fuck? Like, whatever reason we're going to get. It's just
This is what
the
happens when you let
mystery was
two
there.
angry directors in the middle of a fight Eiffel Tower a franchise. That's
It
what
would have been,
happens.
dude. No, it's I'm sorry. It's like the Force. Like, that's not a good enough excuse to explain why the Rise of Skywalker was so goddamn awful. His whole plan was to have Snoke be a fucking clone. His solution was to bring back Palpatine. Rise of Skywalker was so bad. It's just like I don't know why J.J. Abrams gets this like little pass because Force Awakens made people happy, even though it was absolute trash.
I think The Rise of Skywalker is a worse film, but
It's so much worse.
It's not nearly
It's
as
so
offensive
much
to me as The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi is more offensive, but as a movie as a whole, like take away Star Wars out of it, it's not as bad.
I never watched it. After the first two, I was like, I don't care.
The Rise of Skywalker, most people did.
Yeah, the
Rise
third
of
one.
Skywalker.
I watched. It was in the. She watched it in the background. I looked over. I'm like, oh, I don't care. I don't
It was
watch
the
I'm
worst.
not-
It
I'm
was
out.
like it
I'm
was
out.
the biggest pile of trash ever.
Force Awakened temper tantrum.
No, but I think it's like there was so much possibility where that's why people are so much more forgiving on it. Whereas in The Last Jedi, I'm like, okay, we're 2/3 of the way in. What the fuck? And then obviously Rise of Skywalker, we're like, that's it. Whereas
I am all the Jedi.
Whereas in Force Awakens, it gets some leeway because you're like, well, you have 2/3 of a trilogy to fix it. That's a lot of time. But
Yep.
but even so, even if the other ones were still better, like it wouldn't take away the fact that like there was still so much to fix.
We would have been if the
from
other
The Force
two if the
Awakens.
next two films were good, just good, we would have been really forgiving of The Force Awakens.
We would have
Yeah,
been, but
that's
we
true.
might have also been wrong to do that.
You're a fag. Anyway. I thought I'd end this argument off right.
Yeah. But
Her midichlorian count couldn't be mapped on their blood analysis. Oh, Daniel, you're old enough. Were you one of those prequel haters? Were you one of those? Just, I need to know. I need to know.
Well, I mean, everybody hated the midichlorian.
J. Sebastian King, shut your whore mouth. You son of a god.
Return to the Jedi gets so much hate.
It's undeserved.
It is undeserving. Like, I get it. Like,
most of the good story work from the original trilogy happens in that film.
Yeah, it just, like, people forget how much, like, yeah, there's some cringy shit that happens in it. I mean, that was the one where they made Leia his sister, right? Or
that was a choice they made.
Yeah, that was a fucking choice. And the fact that, like, the Ewoks should have been Wookiees.
But the Ewoks were fun. I to this day, I do not mind the fact that they were Ewoks instead of Wookiees.
Yeah, I think people hate on the Ewoks too much. I mean, like,
why do
I
Ewoks get so much hate? They're not. They're cute. They're funny. They're
yeah. And they're like, oh, they beat the stormtroopers. I'm like, it's not the worst thing that's been written.
They also get massacred a couple of times, if you noticed. But
the Jabba of the Palace scene is, like, iconic. That everything about that is so iconic.
The throne room
and the throne room
that's my favorite, like, sequence in almost any film, is that whole throne room sequence from beginning to end. I love every part of it.
Him turning down the path to the dark side, that is, like, peak Star Wars right there.
Sebastian King, we're gonna fight, okay? I'm not threatening you. I'm just letting you know.
Yes, but I think the original intent was to, and you gotta think the lore wasn't really written down back in those days. The original intent was to have it as a Wookiee planet.
But they were running, their budget was running low, and they had to save money, so they literally just made they turned the word Wookiee backwards, and they made smaller costumes. I've seen the behind the scenes.
That's not why they did it. They did it because of the merchandising. No, they 100% did it because of merchandising.
No,
you think after the success of fucking Empire Strikes Back,
you know how much
they're like, wait, we have
those
budgetary restraints? Get the fuck out of here!
Ewok is literally Wookiee backwards. They ran out of. They were running it low on budget.
No. They had to get like, wait, did they have children or midgets, or did they have a combination of the two?
See, Bets, how many skin flutes did he smoke before this stream here?
They could have just got regular Joe Schmoes to put on a Wookiee costume that would have cost just as much to make as an Ewok costume.
No, they paid. This is the '80s. They paid for midgets. They paid half the money. Half the man, half the money.
Is that true?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know about practices in Hollywood in the 80s.
True.
It's a different place.
You're half a person. You get half the pay.
I mean, it is Hollywood. I don't know.
Oh, dude.
I was about to Google it.
Yeah, making Leia
Kahuna,
Luke's
you
sister.
can borrow my groundhog gun.
That was the worst. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Boys, do you want to get another topic, or do you want to end here, because we are at the 2-hour mark just about?
I'm okay with another topic. I know, Justin, you're among the elderly, and you need a bit more sleep than we do, and you're at a different time zone, so it's up to you, man.
That's all true. It's either way. I'm good either way. My audio has been jacked up for the last hour, so I'm doing my best over here. It's
Input,
hard to
output.
hear sometimes. Input, output?
Output. Input or output?
In my ears, the sound in my ears is like.
Oh god, that sounds horrible. All right,
I think
let's talk about
my driver.
Let's talk about. Why is he? I feel like AC always words these topics weird. Flat growth versus actual growth.
It's a flat arc versus an upward arc. Yeah.
Sorry. Again, it's how we phrase it.
What's the one where they go downward spiral? Is that a reverse arc?
Downward arc.
Well,
downward.
Yeah, there's downward arc,
dog.
and that's like when they're dissecting the character.
When someone has their life go to shit, and then they don't recover. That's kind of that's kind of that arc.
Typically, that's what happens when shows, like when the character in a show or a movie or whatever, they already reach their peak or whatever, they already develop and then it's like, okay, so the character's already developed. Where do we go from here? It's like, then they start dissecting about the character and the archetype of the character and kind of dive into that.
You can and these the basic flat upward and downward, that refers to the starting point and end point, but you can make it more complicated. You could have them go up, then go down really far, then then rise again. Like Dark Knight Rises is a great example of this. Like he loses, and he kind of, like, he's a broken man in the beginning of that film. And things get worse initially, because, like, so Batman Dark Knight Rises starts here. It just kind of goes like this, and then he comes back. And that's what that arc looks like. Shit arc. Thank you, animation.
So we mentioned, I guess the topic kind of started because we mentioned a character that doesn't really go through an arc in a story. And
whoa,
can that be good?
Did you see what that burn Herman just landed on your wife? Not even on purpose. That's us like some flat.
Oh, that's messed up, dude.
He's like offended.
That is not true, dude. That is not true.
It's like preferred body type, 12-year-old boy. Bats, obviously. So
yeah. So, but yeah, are there like stories that are enjoyable or even good? You know, because it can be more than enjoyable. That a character doesn't go through an arc, and I think the answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
No. Sorry.
I think you mentioned that typically it's because the character isn't going through an arc himself, but he's changing the world around him. Mm-hmm. Other people are going through arcs, or the world is going through an arc.
He's a true protagonist. He makes things happen. He or she, like Mary Poppins, great example. She doesn't go through a character arc, but she changes everything that she comes into contact with. Like it's more typical in older stories where you had more characters who were more like, or like, yeah, they were already, like, a weird example, but Paddington the bear, who goes to prison, and he like fixes everything there. He doesn't change. That's a weird example to come up with.
Yeah.
Wait, Paddington 1? I've heard Paddington 2 is actually really good, and it's on my list of movies to see. Is this the one where he goes to prison and fixes problems? Is it really?
Yeah.
This sounds hilarious.
He doesn't change at all in that story, but he changes he makes all the prison people not.
Okay,
terrible.
Let's talk about this. Toph. Are you saying that's an example of a character that doesn't go through an arc? Because
she
definitely
absolutely
does,
goes through an arc.
I don't think there's a character that doesn't go through an arc in that story.
In Avatar?
Yeah,
Avatar. Even Iroh is pretty established, but even he goes through an arc.
Yeah, he goes through one, dealing with his son's death and his nephew. Yeah.
Does Jet go through an arc? No, he's a douche and then he dies.
Jet? Yeah, because he's a super minor character. No, even Jet goes through an arc, I think. I think he even comes around, right?
I love the recap episode. It's like, wait, did Jet just die? Huh, it's pretty unclear. Pretty unclear.
Yeah.
Toph absolutely changes. That's not a great example. Like that's the thing. Flat character arcs are less common in the modern day. There are a lot of, they're usually archetypal characters, and they're usually simpler characters, for a variety of reasons. Here's a question: does Gandalf go through an arc?
That's what I'm looking at Gandalf on a list of.
He becomes Gandalf the White.
He dies and is resurrected in the position of Saruman, which is the White. You know, anyway.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's because he was the only one doing his job.
Does he actually? He takes on a different role, but does he fundamentally change?
No, he doesn't really take in a different role. So basically, the reason he's resurrected because out of all the wizards, he's the only one that was still doing his original mission. And so that's why he was brought back by the
Radagast the Brown was still smoking weed in the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
He was doing everything, doing his best.
Gandalf didn't technically die. Only humans can die in Lord of the Rings. So
he went to the other side and was sent
to
back.
Valinor. He went to Valinor, and they sent him back because they're like, all right, you were the only one still doing your mission, so we'll send you back so you can keep doing that mission.
He gets up there. What happened to you, dude? Just burned to a crisp and frozen.
Yeah. I think that I really like whenever you have characters with flat arcs as supporting characters. I'm fine with them as leads, but anytime you have a group of people, if somebody's going through changes, I like for there to be a steady presence somewhere in the storyline.
Well, especially with a party, you want at least one steady individual in a party. Like this person remains this person is unchanged. The old wise mentor character is usually a good character to be that kind of person.
Yeah, it's a pretty common pick.
Yeah, I mean, like serialized stories are probably most typical about it, right? Because you can't have them grow in every single story.
Yeah, you can have some stories where things go bad and they change, or where they become stronger and get better and overcome a weakness. But overall, a lot of those stories by necessity have to have a flat heart.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Sherlock Holmes,
and Paul Rowe too, for that matter.
That's
doesn't
about
really change too much.
Yeah, that's about. His character usually doesn't change at all, right? But in the original stories, like it's about him solving the mystery and you get the entertainment about the mystery being solved.
Yeah, it wasn't about the characters going on an individual personal journey. It was about them overcoming an obstacle.
Yeah, Conan. Yeah, basically any serialized character. I kind of want to
Solomon Kane was a serialized character, but he's not a good example because he did change quite a bit.
Yeah. So I want a
or
character
at least
that's not a serialized character that we have an example. Like Jack Sparrow, he's a flat character. He doesn't go through an arc. But the thing is, the other main character does.
Yeah.
What's his name? Wallace?
Will Turner?
Bootstrap Bill.
Will Turner, yeah. Will Turner goes through an arc.
Bootstrap Bill Turner.
Jack Sparrow definitely doesn't. But he's an entertaining guy to go through. So it's like, oh man, in an unserialized story, are we requiring characters to go through some sort of arc for it to be good or entertaining?
No,
I don't think so.
No. There are different things you can do. You can have it be a thing where they're changing the world around them, or it's like in the case of where it's a larger cast, like they're the steady one, or you can be where it is that maybe your view of them changes because you understand them better by the end of the story, even if they don't really change. Maybe your perspective on who they are and why they do what they do changes. Things of that nature.
Chad, if you want to give us some examples.
I think it can get dicey, too, to give an arc to a character that maybe doesn't necessarily need one, just for the sake of being more emotionally manipulative of the audience. We just watched a movie recently, and one character in it, the entire time is like the hopeful, optimistic one, but then 3/4 of the way through the film breaks down and is crying and full of doubt, and I'm like, this sucks. I hated that they did it.
Character work? Bullshit.
Completely at odds with the character. Maybe
What movie? What movie is this?
All right, how about Oh, sorry.
Inside Out Part 2.
Well, I had no hope of that being a good movie, but yeah.
It's actually not bad, but the character is joy. It's literally the emotion joy.
She did that in the first film.
Yeah, she went through a journey in the first one.
Did she cry in the first one too?
They just recycled the story.
No, Joy needed to learn that in order for her the person to be happy, she needed to not just be filled with joy. She needed to feel other emotions. So Joy did go through because Joy tried to control it. Joy tried to fill the girl up with joy constantly.
It's a perfect example of it going against the character and just being like, what? You're literally the emotion joy. The only thing you should be is joy. Like, what? It's just weird.
So Joy's story
in
both of those films is this.
Yeah. Yep.
But she just needs to learn to release control of, just Georgia.
She just needs a good release.
What about this one? I got a good example here.
She needs to get rid of the other emotions.
Does Moana go through a character arc? Because this is saying that she has a flat arc, but whatever his name is with the hook, he has a changed arc.
His name is
whatever
Dwayne
his
Johnson,
name is. You mean Maui?
Maui,
the
yes.
demigod.
Oh my god! You know my recall sucks. But Maui's not the main character.
He does not respect my culture.
I mean, it's really difficult for nobody to go through any change in any story, right? Like if you have a story that's like an hour long or whatever, like it's almost impossible to not have any character go through any change. So I think this is a great example of Moana where the main character is a flat arc.
There's a lot of jokes I'm trying not to say.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if she has a flat arc or not. She does grow. She does fulfill what she wants. I would say she has an upward arc. Because she had ambitions to do these things that she ends up doing, but she had never actually done them. She was a character who was stuck, and she became something stronger and better. She became the leader that she wasn't in the beginning. So you are incorrect. It's not a flat arc. It is an
Well, this picture's wrong. It's been years since I saw Moana.
I love
think you're
Moana.
Make
Make way.
in that movie that when she goes out in sea and her boat crashes and she washes up on the shore, there's a theory that she actually died at sea, because from that point on she's only dealing with the gods and no longer like dealing with humans, and all of a sudden she can interact with like the spiritual world.
A lot of Hawaiian Japanese stories like that.
Yeah, and it's only after she defeats the volcano. I can't remember who the volcano lady character was.
Ka.
Yeah, after she solves that problem, then like as a gift from the gods, she's allowed to return back to life. And I was like, that's a cool theory. I like that.
It's an archetypical story in Hawaiian and Japanese culture. They go to the underworld, where time, space, and like nothing is the same. And then once they're done on this spiritual journey, they return. And most of those stories end very badly, actually. But like it's like, oh, by the way, it's been like 300 years. All your friends are dead.
Surprise!
Battsauce stars in partial recall. He might achieve partial recall.
All right. What about the first Wonder Woman movie?
I don't remember the story of that very well, but I think Diana's character,
she changes.
Does she?
Yeah.
She learned to trust men.
She learns the value of the pee-pee.
She learns what a skirt, or no, whatever.
I don't know if I like where this is going. Is her arc or her body flat in this film? I need
example, boys. And I thought we had a good example with it was a good example with Sherlock Holmes, but I'm like, oh man, this is all works only with serialized characters, and I'm like, where's our example of a flat character?
There are a lot of comics, like a lot of comic stories. Certain characters will be flat throughout the course of that story. Doesn't mean the character's always been in a flat arc, but like Superman almost always is a flat arc character.
Serialized story.
Yeah, but not in the context of a film. Not every film, anyway.
Not in every book. In a lot of Sherlock Holmes books, is what I'm saying. DPR.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like we talked about 007 too, and I know it's serialized, but he's pretty flat. But there's but there is sometimes where it goes up.
If the story repeats it more than once, it doesn't mean it's serialized. Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah, Calvin never changes.
Well, 007 has like 8 movies, man.
Way more than that. He has like 30 movies, dude.
I know.
There are a lot of them. I don't know how many total.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up. Find a flat arc.
I don't know. I'm only coming up with serialized stuff.
25.
Well, yeah, like that's the format in which it works the best. But Gandalf is a flat arc character, and that is a good example.
Gandalf isn't the main character, though.
It doesn't have. You didn't specify it had to be the main character.
I'm thinking about the main character, like going through a flat. I mean, yeah, there's gonna be plenty of side characters in all different kinds of stories that don't have an arc because they're not important.
Yeah, but Gandalf was not just a side character.
I know, but still, it's like not
Points
every
invalid.
character in Lord of the Rings needs to have an arc.
This argument's been made in bad faith.
I don't know. Maybe I'll pose that to the comments of this video in its clip form. Maybe you guys can come with an example, and maybe that could be our next comment discussion segment of the Iron Seas. And maybe you guys don't give us any good examples, and we're like, you're retarded. Thank you.
I've come up with examples. You just don't like my examples. And then you said Moana has a flat Earth, but she doesn't have a flat. There are 25 James Bond films according to this.
Hey, yeah.
Hey.
But all right, I think let me do the transition. Let me see. That brings us to the end of the show, everybody. Thank you for hanging around. Kahuna, you never found the Chill Kids song, did you?
Nope. I looked at
never
it.
showed.
I had no idea where it was.
Look at your messages under Twitter.
I didn't get it on. Oh wait, did I?
Yes. Oh my god.
Hey, there it is.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
Found it.
All right, if you could share that. Heavily music with the new microphone and no audio issues whatsoever. What do you got to say?
Actually, the last thing you said cut out. I didn't hear that. I catch 90%.
With no audio.
Yeah.
Wayne's
If you
World,
could
he
hear
goes
what
through
I-
an
what I've
arc.
been
What are you
hearing this
talking
entire
about?
Show. Been noped out. It's pretty brutal over here. I think I need to download a driver. And if I can't get this issue resolved,
I need to download it.
there's no chance the wife will deal with this for the Honky Kijo talk tomorrow. So I got to figure this out.
Oh yeah. Well, we have an RNC special going tomorrow.
What the?
That's what I call her.
Everybody, we have an Iron Sea special airing tomorrow night. Check it out. We're going to be talking about
And the Nightmare Painter.
Yeah, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, which is a Brandon Sanderson book. Great author.
Secret Project number 3.
And immediately after the stream goes, I'm going to take it down and upload it as a video. We're not going to edit it because some people say we're going to edit it and then they never edit it, and so it never gets uploaded as a video. I don't know what's that about, but Everly, anything else, Everly?
I don't think so. I think I mentioned everything earlier on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that stream if I can get everything going. I think it'll be a fun time because it'll be a little bit different having some of the ladies in the mix.
Yeah. Thank you for the definition, Daniel. We could have used this right at the beginning of the topic when we discussed it. Not helpful afterwards. Yeah, but you defined it very elegantly here, and
So did I. You son of a
guys, stay around. We're gonna play Chill Kid's song that AC made again for our closing out. Kahuna, you have anything to say before we head out?
You're gay.
I don't got anything else going on besides Iron Sea stuff for right now. I do plan on uploading more videos to my channel.
Are you planning on fisting any other animals to death or just the ground?
I was about to give it another PSA. Come on my property and you get the dog leash handle. That is deadly, all right?
That doesn't sound like a threat. That sounds like a king. Anyway, let's play the video.
Hunt a hero.
CHILLKID.